Okay, so hello. Slightly later than expected because VC decided to shuffle us. Oh, Jory, yes, you haven't seen it, have you? So I feel really weird waving my chest at the camera.
And so you should.
I will make
It has rules about that sort of
no
thing.
comment on you following streaming trends to get those views.
Yeah, I tell you what, for future reference, it looks really... This colour scheme looks really good on grey. So I'm well happy with that. Okay, so welcome to The Witcher RPG. It's fine.
It's all fine.
It's all fine.
We're good.
Yeah, it's brilliant, yes. The plot has been crumpled into a small ball that I had written up and has been tossed far away into the corner of my bedroom. Maybe it'll come out again, but I don't know. Because the players...
People in chat that you can, if you wish to, clip the section where that features the players' faces as they realise there was a plot.
You can see the murder being plotted behind her eyes.
I'm not going with murder. I'm just thinking maiming rules exist. And they're
Yes,
very
indeed.
good.
Yes, they are.
They are. And also, I sort of now know the person, or at least I know of the person, who has produced some really funky prosthetics rules.
I mean, let's be fair. Murder and maiming, one doesn't exclude the other.
Well, yeah, true. I'm just vaguely
That's why
amazed
she
that
killed them after.
you can survive fatal wounds. It's cool. Not murder, but maybe murder flirt. Yes! I think murder flirting may be occurring. I think murder flirt has occurred, in fact, between Auburn and at least one criminal. Okay. So, in previous episodes, everything went really weird. Hemmers and Dagrid have inherited, by fair means and foul, the tossed coin, an inn of renown, which has been closed for a couple of days now after the previous owner suffered a fatal accident by falling downstairs several times. In totally non-suspicious circumstances.
Totally unsuspicious.
Totally unsuspicious. So, they are now in possession of this inn and its mythical beer. Said recipe being distributed between the rest of the players, including the craftsmen, Nell and Dondrick, armour and weapon respectively, if I recall correctly. Or have I got them the wrong way around again?
I don't remember which name you said.
Your weapons. Weapons and armour then, respectively.
Yeah, I don't remember which name,
I always
which order you
correct
said the
myself.
names.
I always correct myself, and I always correct myself in the wrong direction. And the merchant Loic, who is not appearing in this episode, although I believe he is going to be in chat. So, we can still get Loic input. Hell, if he's got his dice to hand, he can still do rolls.
Long.
Loic vision.
Yep.
Actually, The Witcher is a dark fantasy
It's
game.
a grimdark, yes.
It's a grimdark fantasy with a solid sense of very
it's in a
silly humour.
medieval, pseudo-medieval setting. There are dragons. It's basically high fantasy. There are elves. It's the same thing.
It's very much not
Dark
child-friendly.
Elves and dragons do not equal high fantasy. Let's.
No,
not in this game.
no. I see. I'm having to reroute away from what I've been writing the last couple of days, which is also Witcher, but not this Witcher. So I'm kind of, no, I can't talk about that one yet, and I can't put this character in because they don't exist yet. So
I just had a weird thought.
Are you putting season 3?
I was thinking that the only way that the Witcher universe could get grimmer is if it was written by Joe Abercrombie, and then I remember that Joe Abercrombie is a gamer, and I just had this image of him running the Witcher TRPG. Who wouldn't want to play in that game?
I would be there. I would be so there,
Like a
so
shot.
fast.
Yeah.
I'm seriously considering offering my services to run a game at Virtual Gen Con at the end of July. But I am also scared. For I have no experience of running over the internet.
This is true, yeah. It would be
Yeah.
a completely new experience for
It
you,
would.
wouldn't
Pune or a play on words. Yes.
You'd have to learn one of those virtual tabletop things.
Sounds
Yeah,
weird.
no idea what they
So
are.
much technology to keep track of.
Yeah, anyone who's watching the stream is presumably looking
And
at
you-
my virtual tabletop section on the
you-
bottom left going,
You'd
what
need
the
to get a
hell?
decent webcam and a microphone. And
So much work.
It is. So, okay. So I need the list of NPCs because.
got the little list and a little list.
Oh, am I going to go with the guard one of them? Or am I going to go with the guard one of something else?
Huh?
Yeah. The Gold Griffin's a bit much.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
That depends. I mean, Swords of Slaughterdeep, there's loads of
Sweet.
guard griffins. Technically, there's a lot of griffins owned by the city guard of Waterdeep, so
That's fair.
that would make them guard griffins.
Yep. Okay. Where are you? I just added you to the list. Dude. Seriously. Where have you gone? Where do you go to, my lovely? Oh, when I don't drag you in the right place. Oh.
Use your arrow.
Yeah, very much. And don't go for the thing directly above it because that's just no. Okay, so that's fine and doesn't necessarily get added to the combat tracker just yet, but at least I've done it. So, what has gone before is that somebody is after the recipe to the beer Wilhelm's cream. When I say somebody, you're fairly sure you know who. It
You
is.
say that, but in fact, we're just assuming somebody's after it. Nobody
There's some
has actually
disputes.
at any point said, "Give us the recipe for the beer."
Well,
No,
Sebastian.
they did, but not to you. They did it to Alucard.
Yeah, Sebastian
Abelard.
was sorry, Abelard. Even I'm looking at the word Sebastian now. Abelard was asked. Was what I say? Asked. Asked. It does not imply being beaten up in the back alley and mugged for it.
Encouraged
Actually
to.
intimidated.
Was being
Aggressively
intimidated
encouraged.
into giving the recipe up by a young buck of a organised criminal called Piotr.
It's not a buck, it's a bull.
Yeah, technically. Completely different animal.
Felix, you broke John already.
Your first time here, I am dreadfully sorry, but yes, we are always like this. Yes, not always like that one suffering.
The expression that Druth gave me life.
That's
Because you've played a character called Sebastian in the previous game, you keep pricking up your ears at the name. That's understandable. Yes, it would appear that the beer is sufficiently valuable as a commodity that the recipe was kept entirely secret. And now this young chap, Piotr, nephew to the local organised crime boss, is very much in favour of it. So to this end, so far somebody has broken into the shop run by Loic, Nell and Dondrick and sabotaged the staircase before being caught by Loic, threatened with a knife to the back of the neck until they sang like the proverbial canary. as to what they were doing
I
there.
think you bypassed one. I mean, it was a really minor event.
I'm going to go with the bomb.
Yeah.
Somebody lobbed a bomb through the window of the tossed coin.
Possibly the same somebody.
Possibly the same somebody. I have a selection box of criminals, you see. All of whom could be mistaken for each other at a distance.
Yeah, see, the problem is that, like with most selection boxes, you've lost that little paper insert that tells you what they all are. So every time you're guessing, oh, is it going to be a coffee cream? I don't know.
Yeah, you're holding it up going, is that a square or is that a diamond? I'm just looking at it. Yes, somebody lobbed an incendiary through the window of the tossed coin with the intent of destroying both the deeds and any paperwork attached to...
Again, the assumed intent.
This is the assumed intent, yes. This was worked out by Nell and Dondrick.
It's assumed by you lot, anyway. It's not assumed by Hamus. Some bastard threw a firebomb through my window. I'm assuming they tried to burn my inn.
Yes. But it was deflected out of the window and exploded relatively harmlessly in the street outside, thus only taking out the windows. Thanks to the quick thinking of Hadavir the Mage. Following up on the line that the paperwork was a target, Nell, Dondrick and Blake, the alcoholic bar guard and man-at-arms.
Yep. Mercenary turned bar guard.
Yes.
Well, it's more mercenary work, let's be
Yeah,
honest.
he does a bit of door work in between wars, you know.
Yes. Door work in between. I've just got visions of him now in the badly fitting suit.
Oh.
With the badge strapped to the arm.
Yep.
Yeah. Went off to the lawyer, Nicholas Beringer, on the grounds that if they had been accosted, he was going to possibly be a target. Turns out they were indeed being targeted. Blake's fastest finger first, meant that the clerk, Therese, who may previously have been called Stella because I was looking at the wrong NPC last session, did not plummet to her doom when thrown out of a second-story window, but she was badly injured. And Nell, Dondrick, and then later Blake finished off the two criminals, henchmen of Piotr, Gerhardt and Edda,
Well,
otherwise known as...
badly, so we showed them how it was supposed to be done.
Yeah, otherwise known as Lumpy and Ratty.
To be fair, we didn't kill him. His blood killed him by leaving his body.
Yeah, Ratty bled out in the lawyer's offices, and Lumpy was left to his fate.
Should have kept his blood in place, really.
For help for him, we attracted the attention of some people who might have got him medical attention, or might have just robbed him and left him in the street. We don't really know. We didn't hang around.
No, you left him to it, basically. You threw him out of a window in revenge for throwing Therese out of a window.
But then, after we had a little chat with him, we from a safe distance, yelled, "Oh my God, that man's just fallen out of a window," in the direction of some passers-by, and then left it.
Basically risked sicking the guard on him. Or possibly intended to sick the guard on him.
Hands clean.
Yes. So, in a little conflab after the fact... Oh, God.
All deaths ultimately come down to heart failure.
Yeah. In a discussion after the fact, you came to the conclusion that you were being targeted at least by Piotr, probably Sebastian Bohr, who is the crime boss for this neighbourhood. Certainly this large section of Burmervoort. And you were deciding what you were going to do about him. The craftsman...
Nobody liked my letter idea.
Nobody liked your letter, I think at least in part because it was badly spelled, because it's Hamus.
Yeah.
I think it was a slight case of, you could at least have used spell check. Yeah. You come into the comments
Does Microsoft
section.
Clippy do Nilfgaard?
I need an inverse spell checker, really, for when I'm using Hamus, because I accidentally wrote that letter quite well and then realised afterwards, no, Hamus has lousy education. It really shouldn't look like that.
Fair. So what, he was going to write it all in capitals?
No, mixing
Probably
capital.
in letters cut out of a local newspaper.
That tracks.
Okay.
Yes, Chrono, that's about right.
Oh dear. So yes, basically the mercantile types decided to go and fortify the shop, because if it had been targeted once, it might be targeted again, rather more violently.
And we live there.
And you live there. So when last we saw, they were basically doubling up the front door. I'm guessing improving the lock and possibly adding an extra bar.
Yes, there's probably going to be... because I'm assuming there's also a form of windows, potentially, so that's going to get...
You do have the display window, yes.
Yes. There's going to be... Yeah, still making sure it's functional, and I think
Do we have a display window though? I mean, I'm thinking, isn't glass pretty expensive and such?
Glass is fairly expensive, but when you throw magic into the mix, suddenly the whole industrial complex looks a bit different.
This is fantasy, and glass is way clearer, way more common, and way cheaper in fantasy than it ever was in an equivalent real world.
But yeah, you're not talking huge glass frontages. However, you are just talking one large display window, perhaps.
Bam. We're doing
Dressmaker's dummy.
A lot of ornaments. We're making sure, so it's still functional during the day. So we can still most things should be removable or not removable, but should make sure that they're not in the way during the daytime mostly, and during the night when we close, we live in a fortress. That's what I want. That's the dream.
They switch off the ceiling-mounted auto-tracking crossbows.
Yeah.
You want the ceiling guns, huh?
Also, a cauldron on the roof with a hot oil on it. Very important.
Okay, now you just turned into the Adams family.
Somehow that seems appropriate.
Maybe.
Right. So that's basically what they are doing for the next day. The previous night, however, something else occurred to disturb the rest of Hadavir. Which didn't occur quite as I said it, on the grounds that I didn't have the map last time, and now I do. And I kind of ballsed up.
Everyone was half asleep. Directions got a bit confused.
Yes.
Yeah, they may have imagined non-existent corridors.
But I didn't imagine a non-existent corridor. I just got the stairs in the wrong place.
You
It's
imagined
kind
a
of-
non-existent corridor.
Shut up. Look, it's a stretch. It's got 2 doors and walls either side. It counts as a corridor in my head.
It's a landing.
Could it be a landing?
Landings and corridors are totally different things.
Now, am I sharing? That's popping out. Okay, sharing. Share sheet. That's the beastie.
Yep.
There we
So,
go.
yes, this is the first floor of the tossed coin.
Yep.
I forgot that first floor does not equal ground floor in British English.
That took me a
doesn't.
second.
Yep.
I got it.
You guys are weird. Sorry.
The first floor is the first floor you come to once you leave the ground floor.
Yeah, it is the first floor above ground.
Yes, the first floor is on the ground floor is the first floor that you come to, but then you go upstairs from the ground floor to the first floor.
I'm trying to
everything is
help
measured.
people, just trying to melt their brains.
Yeah, everything is measured above ground. It's as simple as that. Just remember that it's how many floors above ground are we?
I know, but it's stupid.
Yes, agreed. I don't actually know if I do think we technically count the same way if you like look at
Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
Like,
in
it
malls
says, like,
and stuff, but
ground floor.
never in like a house, like where someone lives. Then it's just first floor and second floor.
I mean,
The question is,
But elevators tend to be weird.
the question is,
and
is it
malls.
kept
Yeah,
that
yeah.
way? Is it kept that way so that, for example, you know, spies can send enemy agents to the wrong floor because, you know, information goes out to the CIA or whatever that, you know, someone's
Couple
hiding on the
misinformation.
second floor and they're bimbling around on the first floor going, where? Long enough for, you know, James Bond to turn up or something. Right. A whole new spycraft setting. Right, so, yeah, that's basically the first floor. Hadavir witnessed, and I am arbitrarily deciding that Hadavir has the double room top left, because that's the only way that the whole corridor thing could even vaguely be valid, with the description I gave. The spectral form of a woman.
right, I forgot about the ghosts.
I just love the fact that, you know, you're dealing with basically an incipient gang war. And yes, oh, I forgot about the potential ghost.
It just like, and the ghost is the and the gun equivalent for.
Yeah.
You are
If there's a
right,
ghost in the first act, it has to.
you are right that could count as a corridor, though, and that top left section. Well spotted. You have fixed the corridor issue.
The fabled
Either top
corridor
left or
problem.
bottom right would have worked.
Yeah. Yes.
Just.
It's a longer street. It's more corridor-like in the top left, though, 'cause it's
Yeah.
slightly longer.
Yeah.
Because you've got the stairs up to the private area.
Plus,
like
I was kind of assuming that Hadavir of the Brotherhood of Mages would probably be wanting the bigger room.
that. Well,
Possible.
the two opposite corners there are both bigger rooms.
Yeah. So, hang on. Are you editing the map on me?
No,
No?
they're both mirrored.
Unless you mean writing Blake into Blake's room.
Yes.
In which case, yeah, I did that. Because we'd already established that was Blake's room.
Yes.
So I just wanted to mark it so that we knew it.
No,
We
it's,
established that in the first episode.
the thing is, I glanced away to the rule book and I glanced back, and all of a sudden, when discussing ghosts, writing had appeared.
It's
Ghost
really
writing.
bad writing because I really can't write with a mouse.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Isn't that how Hadavir? Oh no, how Hamus writes though. You just
That's about
just
how I
channeling
was
it.
writes. Yeah.
What, you reckon Hamus is a pen in the fist sort of chap?
Oh yeah,
I think
definitely.
you may well be, yeah.
Holds it like his dagger.
Also, I'm just updating the. Now that we have the new investigator feature,
Yes.
I'm having a blast.
Yes, we are now using the player agency add-on, which
Was there ever a ghost, mother?
So instead of like just writing these in my own notes, I can share them with everyone.
which means that players can now, as Felix just said, write and share their own notes with the group, so there can be a collaborative note-taking system instead of having to specifically remember
Yes.
So as we
to
come up
pass them
with
between
stuff,
each other.
We can add that onto the shared
Yes.
clue note thing.
Yeah. Right now I'm just posting them in chat as soon as I write them, just so you see what I've written and can edit them as
Yeah.
you please. For example, misinformation, misspelling, or just any information on the ghost, because right now it's mainly just question marks and jokes.
Yes, the ghost was of a woman, and
Right.
Hadavir saw her head upstairs, having been woken up by generalizedfeelingofmagic.com.
Oh, crap. I found a small problem, however.
What?
I was just trying to add a note to the ghost thing, and it just gave me an error. It
Oh.
didn't let me
You're
do
having no luck with interactions today. Are you? Because you couldn't edit your character sheets.
Did someone else try to edit, just to see
Yeah.
if it's something on fish ends or...
We may need to check for whether there's an updated version of the extension.
Yeah, there wasn't the last session, but it's been 3 weeks and these things change. Right. So, there is a ghost of a woman which Hadavir saw head upstairs, pass through the door to where Hamus sleeps, and vanish. Hamus slept the sleep of the Hamus.
The sleep of the Hamus.
Sleep of the completely innocent with an untroubled conscience who's never done anything wrong.
Yeah. Were you going to look for a fence for that necklace?
Yeah, I was about to say, nothing wrong, you know. Never ass necklace stolen from a murdered person.
It was never proved that she was murdered. Probably murdered,
Proves
yes.
that I stole it.
No, it's true. Okay. So yes, the day dawns, and as a result, the merchants, we know what they're off doing. Merchants and craftsmen. Oh my. What are the residents of the tossed coin getting up to?
Well, having had a restless night, I'm wanting to relax as much as possible because I'd spent a few spells the previous day.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
really interested because I'm pretty sure I'm going to need to spend a couple today as well. So I want to make sure I'm fully rested and ready for battle. I
Right.
mean, investigation.
Oh,
Same difference from what we learned so far.
right. Okay. So, I'm going to guess that your day is starting with breakfast.
It's radical, but it might work.
It's an old trick, but it might just work. So yes, Bernie is downstairs in the kitchen, producing something which seems to involve oats and possibly bacon, and yet somehow isn't porridge. Served as a dollop with an omelette. Because this is a civilized, well, semi-civilized setting. And since you can have croissant and high-end cooking, I figure that omelettes are what the hell.
Why not?
Yep,
They originated in Tucson.
they did.
Did they?
Yep.
I mean, I'm
Okay.
just since it's France.
Yeah, that's where Toussaint is where you first come across things like, you know, I think they're described as crescent-shaped breakfast pastries.
Tucson is just France and Italy merged. In
It's
a weird way.
France and
Oh,
Italy
right.
with a large chunk of Spain for the landscape, because chunks of it's Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Which is why it's one of the most screenshotted places in the entire
that I
Witcher
can
3. I want to go on holiday to some of these places. It looks amazing. That vineyard is a wow. So, breakfast is being served. Blake and Hamus.
Blake will probably be up slightly late and a little bleary-eyed because no doubt he had a few drinks before he slept.
Okay.
Hamus will actually be up bright and early, looking for his breakfast,
Okay.
and he will eat a hearty breakfast because he needs to fortify himself for the busy day ahead.
Right. While eating, Hadavir and Hamus are interrupted by Sebastian. Not Sebastian, Abelard.
Thank you.
I really, now I've done it once. Obviously, a channel has been engrooved into my brain.
Yep, those neural pathways have been formed, and there's no way to unform them without the lamppost.
Yes.
You're not wrong, though, Fish.
That's a bit extreme. Yes,
But
you
not
need
incorrect.
you need to stop mixing up two NPCs. Here, headbutt a lamppost at 40 miles an hour. No. For preference. So, Abelard comes in from the back door, which leads out of the kitchen. Who are you, map list? Sorry, I've got a list of everything. And unfortunately, the list of everything is in the way of everything else. There we go. That's very big. Okay. Yeah, that's saved with a larger size file. So, yes. Abelard comes in from... Can I just check everybody can see that?
If this is the ground floor map, I already had it open, so...
Is it one that we've been... Oh, there it is.
There he is.
Jesus. Yep.
I'd shared it.
I can see it now.
Yeah, I'd shared it
My
before.
entire screen.
Yeah, I'd shared it before, and I just wanted to make sure that you guys could see it, but obviously I have to share it each time. Okay.
It's huge.
Once it's been shared, we can all access it through the images and maps button on the right-hand side of the screen of Fantasy Grounds desktop, but it won't automatically display unless you reshare it.
Yeah, okay. So yes, you are eating, one assumes, on the trestle table in the centre of the inn.
That makes sense, I suppose, yeah.
So...
many of us suggest eat in the kitchen.
Yeah. And yes, Sebastian comes in smelling of...
Abelard.
Abelard. Sebastian comes in. Yes. I'm going to have to do that at some point, aren't I? There's a knock on the door and the local crime boss walks in. I don't think so.
The local crime boss walks into a bar.
Funny you should be here. Does anybody know you're here? Just no reason to ask, but...
Yes. Abelard walks in and comes in and slumps exhaustedly next to you at the table.
Good morning, Abelard. Did you not sleep well?
Oh, I slept all right. It's just I've been awake for about 3 hours.
Well, starts early, does it?
Well, Uncle always liked to do his brewing before dawn, and I thought that might be an integral part of the process. And it seemed a reasonable thing to do at 3 o'clock this morning.
Speaking of your uncle, was he ever married?
Yes, I think. But...
You don't know?
Well, when someone goes a funny colour when you ask them certain questions, you stop asking, to be honest.
I'd be intrigued to know what you know.
Well, I gather as a very young man, he had a wife, but also that there was a pirate involved in the mix, and she decided that was more interesting than the bartender.
Pirate?
So she left.
Yeah, one of your lot, I think.
I've met a few pirates. They're really nothing to write home about.
Yeah. Maybe it was...
Not that many of them could write home.
It must have been the Skellige accent.
Oh, now that I can understand.
But yes, I mean, this was long before I came to live with him. But I gather that yes, she
What did she look like? Never left any clue.
No.
Never said a word.
It was a childhood romance that, when they stopped being children, she decided he was boring.
Childhood, you sure?
That's what he said.
Thank you.
So, why? As he's sort of blearily looking at you, Bernie comes in and quietly puts down a pot of coffee and a mug within easy reach, looks at him and pours the coffee.
I was just curious as to whether this place ever had a woman's touch around his at the management level.
A woman's touch at the management. That there's never been that kind of bar.
Was he married, and did she have a hand in the business?
He was married, and I don't think she was very interested in the business. Which begs the why.
I'm saying this loud enough so that the elven lass, whose name I've thoroughly forgotten at the moment, Bernie can hear us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping to get some sort of response from Bernie, because being elf, she's long-lived and might have been around when the wife was.
Okay, I would like anyone who's looking at Bernie to make me an alertness check, please. Actually, no. Human perception.
God. This is where I should have spent the...
I honestly don't know whether I would be looking at Bernie or not, so I'm going to randomise that.
Okay.
If the inner die rolls higher than I am.
Sorry, I didn't mean to draw over the picture.
That's all right.
Great. If the inner die rolls higher, then I'm looking in her direction, says me. Rolls a 6 on both dice. I think one eye's looking in her direction. I'll roll it at a penalty.
Okay.
Literally the second I turned the microphone off.
Yep. And thank you for the follow, Fox. And indeed, welcome. Found us.
Give me a sec. I'm still trying to remember my way around the character sheet.
Right, let's give yourself a minus.
Human perception, you said, didn't you?
Human perception, yes.
So,
So that, with a penalty, that came out at 13.
Okay.
why is it not rolling?
It just did.
Yay!
17.
17.
Okay.
I
You
was
really
sticking in
need...
the wrong place.
Hamus comes back to Bernie's face as an expression is leaving it before her habitual customer service smile kicks in. But Hadavir, when the wife is being discussed, a look of extreme disapproval.
Ooh.
I would like to point out my my 19 roll.
Holy crap!
Yes, Auburn.
Sorry, the
I take
microphone
it.
was off for various flutter reasons.
Yes, Auburn, of course, is squirreled away, probably making his way through at least his second helping of eggs and...
He's very shifty at the moment, which is why he was looking, because he still doesn't really trust anyone in this bar.
That's fair.
How does that make him different to anyone else in this bar?
He knows they're all big enough to basically step on him.
Oh, there's that.
As she makes that disapproving look, I'll casually look in her direction. You look like seeing a ghost, lass. And again, see what the reaction is.
The lips purse. It is more that she has just bitten into a lemon. Some people don't know when they're well off, basically. But not my place.
Aye, I'd be intrigued to know more.
Well, maybe later.
Oh.
I actually wanted to talk to you. Well, I suppose to talk to you all. This is the closest thing to a full sentence you've actually had out of her, pretty much since turning up. She does address herself primarily to Hamus, the person who's prone to talking to her in Elvish,
Yeah.
in Old Speech. I had a package delivered yesterday. Everyone seemed terribly busy, and I didn't know when to bring it up. She heads back to the kitchen and comes out with a paper parcel and a sheet of paper.
That could be a bomb.
It could have been. Fortunately, I don't think it was. Although I probably wouldn't advise shaking it too hard.
Yeah, Auburn's gonna shuffle back a bit further into the corner.
Everybody else is at the table, Orban hiding in the corner. The bowl.
With his breakfast.
I'm picturing him under the table.
Actually,
I like that. He sort of shuffles back into the corner, then comes back to get his breakfast, and then goes back.
Under the table is not a problem. If necessary, Hadovir can very easily cast a flip table spell.
Yeah, I was about to say, you can just put a table on top of him.
there was that.
Was it just delivered here, or was it delivered specifically to you?
To me. It's from Juniper. The lady who was here. Gosh.
Why?
Well, it's apparently she doesn't want any responsibility for the recipe. She said that people had been following her, so she thought it would be better off back here.
All
But
right.
she sent me... Well, she said that this was a prepared package of herbs, and Abelard's face lights up. I've been running out. Okay, that's great. But I'm not a herbalist. So this is all we've got now for the herbal component, I suppose, of the cream.
Well, I suppose we can always get in touch with her for more at a later date.
Apparently not. I've got the preparation instructions, but we'll have to find a herbalist to actually make the stuff.
Oh, well, if you got the instructions, then well, all right then.
Yeah.
So
She holds up...
basically her portion of the recipe then.
Yeah, she holds up the sheet of paper, and it is indeed identical to the portions of the recipe that have been given out.
Well, in keeping with Wilhelm's basic idea, I think for security purposes, it's probably best if you hang on to that, so it's still kept distributed.
So-
Right.
I don't think so. The idea was for folks not here to have the components. I volunteer.
But you're here.
But you're here.
Not
aye.
permanent. I happen to be here at the time. I live out in the wilds.
Well,
Well, I'm all right with that if you are, but it's your piece of ingredients there, love. You make that decision.
well, I don't want to impose, but... Well, it sort of feels like there's a part of... And she turns to Abelard. Is part of your uncle still around? I think, if that makes sense.
God, I hope not.
But if you want me to give it to you, then I suppose I could. But if you don't mind, I'd like to keep it.
Makes no odds to me.
Ah, okay, that's fine.
If you're happy to keep it, you keep it.
You think it would be safe?
Absolutely not.
Ah,
But it's our job to help make it safe.
I
It
love his
will be
accent.
safe. It's not safe at the moment, but it will be safe. We'll sort that out.
Okay.
Might take a little sorting, but we'll get it done.
Okay, that's fine.
Abelard, question for you.
Yes.
What did your uncle look like? Were he tall, fat, skinny?
He was
Sure.
quite tall. He was quite powerfully built, I suppose. I mean, he
Powerfully
had,
built,
yeah.
right.
I mean, he wrestled around a lot of, the barrels and all the equipment, and you're carrying 20-pound bags of grain and stuff every day. You're going to get muscles. I think that's
You get plenty of exercise.
Yeah.
Okay, thought process. Well, that rules out one possibility of what I saw last night then.
Yeah, fair enough. Bernie then also says, so while we're here, someone's got to exercise Pepperdew.
And Pepperdew is...
One of the aardvarks.
Well, I thought I was leaving all that kind of stuff
That's
to
nice.
Abelard to manage. I thought that was basically the agreement here, was that
It-
Abelard was going to manage the inn and everything, and I'm just going to be, like the man at the top and deal with the bigger picture stuff.
Well, I'd love to, but normally I don't mind. But
Well,
the thing is, at the moment, I've got a brew run going, and I'm concerned it might explode if it's left unattended.
I can see that being something that you'd want to pay attention to then.
Mm.
Yeah.
You have to go outside.
And Bernie says, and I don't tend to walk Pepperdew. I mean, I feed him, but I don't tend to walk him. The others are fine, but I don't think Pepperdew likes me very much. So, could you? I know it sounds a little silly, but would you mind walking the aardvark?
Can we just walk him around inside?
What exactly is involved in walking the aardvark?
Just harness him up, get him out of the cage, and get him some exercise.
I'll do it if I don't have to leave the tavern.
You're going to walk him around the yard, you mean?
Well, no. On the streets.
They will kill me.
Nobody's gonna kill you. And besides, it's good advertising.
It's really not safe.
Well, you just said
Somebody
you could
threw a
make it
bomb
safe.
through the window.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind, the whole bomb through the window thing.
Yes.
Amos.
What if they go
If
after
you-
the aardvarks? Orban looks like he's just like galaxy brain. He's got the face of someone who just galaxy brained. What if they go after the aardvarks?
Well, they
If you're
might
scared
do.
to go alone, I'll come with you.
I don't know whether they'd go after the aardvark specifically, but it's a pretty obvious hint that maybe this person is connected with the inn.
It is. But can I just
Tell
introduce
you
you?
what, I need to do some shopping this morning. So, if you can direct me to, what am I going to need? Well, a tailor for starters.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the aardvark with me when I go.
You can't leave him outside any shops.
Why not? I'll tie him up.
He's worth a lot of money.
There'll be two of us.
Are you sure?
He'll walk the aardvark. He'll tie him up. I'll stand guard outside.
Right.
There you go.
Okay.
You can't ask better than that. Security provided by the Brotherhood of Mages. That's above and beyond, that is.
She looks at you, Hamus, with a very steady expression. And in Elven says, I don't think you're taking this seriously.
I shall reply also in Elven. I'm taking this very seriously indeed.
They're worth money. Okay. Okay, look.
Nice one, Chrono.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, God.
What was going on? I'm still never having the chat open because my internet sucks.
Get up the lark, head down to the park. Everybody walk the aardvark.
Excellent.
That really bad. And you should both be very proud and incredibly ashamed.
It sounds like a new exercise pattern. It's
Yep.
like, today I just did walk the odd walk a couple of blocks. Felt
Yep.
great.
Yeah. Right, so.
Look, I still don't really understand this whole aardvark fight. I mean, the basic concept of, look, here's a couple of aardvarks, they go have a fight. I get that bit. But, yeah. Who are these fights between? You know, I mean, there must, if the thing's valuable, if you think there's a concern somebody might steal it, then there must be other aardvark breeders and trainers out there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right, okay. So, who are they? Where are they? Because I don't know anything at all about any of this. Am I expecting somebody just to turn up on the doorstep one day with an aardvark and say, I've come for the fights?
Sebastian looks at you and says,
Or even Abelard?
Abelard, oh, for fuck's sake. Abelard, in tribute to the guy who probably had his uncle off, is changing his name to Sebastian.
Because that's what you do, isn't it?
Hang on a minute.
Sebastian can be his middle name.
I can imagine now writing it in Sharpie on a forehead
His
backwards so it's there in the camera every time she looks at it.
It'd be a huge post-it note
Is-
just underneath the camera saying, Abelard!
Not a post-it note.
Ah.
However, I have it in big letters now, directly in front of me. Yeah. Sebastian looks up at you and says, well, it's
Sebastian.
so fuck it.
I'm so sorry.
That one is particularly impressive.
That was beautiful.
Chrono's absolutely right. I mean, obviously, yeah, Sebastian is a common, familiar form of Abelard. Everybody knows that.
Right, you okay?
There's not a single letter right. That was really bad.
A and B.
Oh, sorry, A and B.
No, I will never be right again. I've got plot written up. This week, I actually plotted properly. Interactions. Things I could work around the players, and I can't keep the bloody NPCs' names straight.
Would it help if I got my name badge from work and I just stuck Abelard over the top of it and wore it?
No, because then she's going to call you Abelard and still call him Sebastian.
Yeah. No, I don't think you could ever forget Hamus.
Much though I may want to try. Okay, yes, Abelard. Looks quite enthusiastic, actually. Well, there are regular matches, and yeah, we have visiting trainers and hosts downstairs, and we get
sort of on hold though with your uncle's death.
Well, you'd say that, but money's still got to be made. And we get a cut of the betting.
Presumably they're waiting for us to get in touch and say, right here, it's all back on again. Bring your aardvarks round.
It's more a monthly thing.
So when was the last one? When are we expecting this?
He looks a bit baffled, starts counting on his fingers. Well, I was away for that, so I missed the last but one. And then...
It's not one of these weird, the third night of the full moon nonsense, is it?
No. No. No, it's next week.
Next week. Oh, that gives us a few days to get the hang of it then.
Yeah. About 8 days. I mean, it's not normally too busy. You know, you get maybe 20, 30 people, the referee, his assistants, a couple of bookies, the other trainers. You have maybe 3 bouts, so it's half a dozen beasts. Oh, and the vet.
And the trainers and the audience are all drinking.
Well, they're all drinking.
I'm beginning to see the appeal of this.
They're all drinking. The trainers pay to get their animal in the fight. And
With an entry fee, even better.
And the bar gets a cut of any gambling that happens on the premises.
Okay, so basically the way this works then is you're paying me an entry fee and they're paying me an entry fee so that you can all use my Yardbag fighting arena.
Yeah.
And then you're organising everything and you're handling the betting and I just get my cut. I'm liking this now.
Oh, I'm not a bookie. I can't do that. That's
okay, so we're going to need to did your uncle have somebody who did that?
I think so, yeah.
Bernie, you'd know.
She has that disapproving look wash over her face again. His name's Simon.
Simon?
Yes. I believe he works out of one of the, exchange houses. The people who change the money.
You don't know which one? Because unless he turns up here. Actually, I suppose he'll turn up here, won't he?
Look, I don't want to be rude, but I don't think he is necessarily the nicest person. I know.
That, I'm not surprised.
Oh, I know your uncle.
Again.
BREMERVOORD. Brother's Grimdog.
Oh.
Yes, I like that. Anyway, his name's Simon Reichert.
No, I think it's Simon the Bookie because that's what I've already written.
Simon the Bookie.
Alright, what was his name again?
Simon Reichert.
Spelled as it sounds?
Yeah, pretty much.
1 H or 2?
1. Oh, sorry, 2. My apologies.
I'm glad I checked.
I just read that as 2 separate words there. I mean, you'll be able to find him, and she gives you an address for his place of business.
I believe I'm actually writing in a note. Handles betting on the aardvark fights. I've just written the phrase aardvark fights.
Yep.
I mean, yep. I made investigator clue on pepper dew before as well. So.
So you did.
Yep. So I did. Yeah. That was before shake him up again. I'm just happy.
Look, where I went wrong last week was I forgot that my standard is to have events happening around you that will carry on in their own sweet way.
Yep.
That you can then interact with. I was trying to make everything too much about the PCs. Now I feel like I'm back on more secure ground.
Yes,
Even if that does...
We've looked at that secure ground. We've examined the fact that part of it appears to be a rug of some kind, and we're getting ready to yank it.
Fine. That's great.
Just what we do.
Did I bring the rum out? No, I didn't. Okay.
Is that bad already? You need the rum.
Yep, it's
Okay.
a rum.
Is
I'm
it
having a rum time.
Bremerwood?
Bremerwood.
Yeah,
Yep.
fish.
A city-state. City and a state, apparently. The Duke of
The
Bremerwood.
PCs are there. It'll be in a state shortly.
Yes, the Duke of Bremerwood is a former pirate.
Oh yeah. No, yes, you have mentioned that before. Do we have a name on him, by the way?
You do. Hang on. The World of the Witcher. Which I think it comes under the North. It's in Sidaris, I believe.
Yes.
Duke
That sounds.
Algarul, whose wife was once a mermaid, if you believe the balladeers. Agloval.
Could you spell that in chat, please?
AG
AG. Yes.
LOVAL.
LOV.
Agloval.
LA.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Allegedly a former pirate, and his wife was once a mermaid.
You see, if math is my number one enemy, words are second, and letters are number 3.
Fair enough.
So, I think I got
Felix,
it.
I'm a little bit break more bitches.
Oh God, don't no. We're not getting into that. Anyway, carry on.
Right. Would you guys, in that case, you can finish up your breakfast. Yes, the wife was once a mermaid.
Is she now an ex-wife, ex-living, or ex-mermaid?
Ex-mermaid.
She got better.
Okay.
Yes. I'm not making any comments about her having long red hair. Would I?
You had to say it. You had to say it.
Yeah.
The chef is from Toussaint or whatever it's called, in which I don't remember what it's called. In which,
Okay. So, after your breakfasts are done and dusted and disposed of, Sebastian suggests that you take a look outside and
Sebastian?
Does Abelard do that?
Abelard, fucking hell.
this is gonna be an issue.
This is going to be a thing, isn't it?
Really going to be a thing, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm going to record myself saying his name is Abelard, not Sebastian. And I'm just going to play that on a loop overnight on my music player.
I'm just waiting to see if when we finally get to talk to Sebastian, she keeps calling him Abelard.
Sebastian Senior, Sebastian number 2.
Yeah.
What if it's a Freudian slip and it turns out they were actually the same person all along?
Mind blown.
Would
You
I?
cracked Rat's plan.
Spoilers!
I was about to type that in chat.
Would I do that? Okay, and chat is now going into the mechanics of having a mermaid for a wife.
Sebastian is his crime boss name. It's like the Kingpin, as Wilson said. Abelard's gain is Sebastian.
Sebastian, yes. That would be the lobster. Sorry, the crab even. No, lobster, wasn't he?
No, he's Sebastian the Boar. We've been through this, Strut. This is the second time. Come on. Get the animal straight. Gosh.
Okay. So
I've been trying to figure out like a different take of Under the Sea, but all I have so far is Under the Law, and I'm not sure if that's
Okay.
quite-
I'm the only person here who has not seen that film and is never going to see that film. I'm just going to stay out of it.
you have
You're not the
seen
only
it.
person that hasn't seen it. I've
You've
never
seen
the
it with
film,
me,
I just know the
Fish.
song.
Under the Sea.
You've seen it with me because we got very drunk
That's
watching it.
I must have been very drunk. Yes.
I think we saw it at the cinema.
No, definitely not.
No, it was Beauty and the Beast. Sorry, Aladdin we saw at the cinema.
Yeah, Aladdin I saw at the cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will own up to that one.
Yes.
Took my sister to see that.
Yeah, you also went to see it with me.
No, I thought we took my sister to
Oh,
see
yes,
that.
sorry, yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just out of it, my sister was 11 years younger than me, so it does actually work out as a legitimate excuse.
Okay. So, I will, yes, if we don't keep this straight, I will turn this session around and we will take us back. So, you can head outside with Abelard leading the way. I feel like I've broken my duck. And he leads you around the back of the inn. So that's all three of you. Bernie
I'll post
is...
a gold star for you.
Oh,
Nah, in chat.
It's fine. I feel patronised and it's lovely.
you should feel appreciated. He gave you a gold star.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I gave you a round of applause. So did
Yeah,
Jordan.
that's true. Yeah, I know. It's quite. I like that one. So, yes, he leads you out to the animal pens outside, which do run along the back of the building. There is an open space between the back of the inn and the brew house, presumably for the same reason that fireworks factories tend not to be in terraces. Look, I've seen homebrew goes wrong.
I've seen homebrew goes
when
wrong.
homebrew goes wrong.
Up close and personal.
Yeah. And the wooden and wire pens stand before you. To one side there is kind of a large compost bin arrangement. And Abelard reaches in and pulls out a handful of wriggly insects, which he proceeds to toss a handful of each into the pens. And you hear
You don't
noises.
take the creepy encounter to just feed him the aardvarks.
Yeah.
So, this one's Pepperdew. And
Hello there, Pepperdew.
you can see in the dimness of the cage the long twitchy nose and the tongue flicking out and disposing of the insects.
You and I, Pepperdew, are apparently going to be great friends. We're going to go shopping. Would you like that? I'm going to play my bloody
Pippin's timing was frankly astounding there. Somebody just yell, "Cue the cat."
I don't think any of you understand just how much I love Pippin.
I think Pippin
There are
mistook
times
his
I think
name
you
for
can have
Pepperdew.
Pippin if you want him.
So he points out, yes, there's that one. I know you said you didn't want to go out much. He turns to Auburn. Was wondering if you could help us out a bit with some cleaning. Specifically, these three. Takes you over to pens at the end. And inside are each individual one, curled up, are about yay big aardvark cubs. Pups, technically. I mean-
Auburn just looks at them and tries not to look like he's actually about to cry from how cute they are. I'm
They're...
gonna Google baby aardvark right now.
Yeah, go for it. They were bred from Pepperdew, so he's a stud aardvark.
They don't have any hair. They're just naked.
Yes, they are. So while he's still, while he's a champion, they're worth a bit, So I think the plan was to sell them, but I don't know whether we want to, keep them and, because Pepperdew will retire eventually.
Yeah, sure.
But in the meantime, if you could sort of let them out for a little run and clean, give them a bit of a clean out.
Oh, sure.
Because I think
Auburn looks very lost. He's never cleaned out anything in his life.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe that's something else.
Except pockets.
Except pockets. He
But
gets kicked out of the country before, he actually needs to.
Yep. Okay. I believe I'm getting away with this.
Yeah, Auburn will clean Aardvark. Auburn's going to pick up a tiny, wrinkly baby Aardvark and just look it in the eye. Like, he's not sure what to do with this. He's just looking at it. Hold on. A dramatic recreation. Hold on. Imagine this is a baby Aardvark.
It's a hard bark.
A cathode mark.
It's looking very Lion King there.
Yes, it is a bit. Okay. So, Auburn, are you opening all the cages at once, or are you letting them out one at a time?
He's letting them out one at a time.
Damn. Okay. So I'm not having to have you chase around the yard after 3 fleeing baby aardvarks.
Baby Aardvark. He just sort of doesn't know what to do. He's like, come
Yeah.
on. Come on. And just sort of like, he doesn't really know what to do.
It sort of whumps a little bit, and then it goes knocking little puffs of air out of its snout with every step as its head bobs up and down as it runs around your feet.
You've gone from dating simulator to farming simulator in very
Yeah.
Everybody now wants to hold baby aardvarks.
This is like Neopets, but Neo
I
Aardvark.
want to hold a baby Aardvark. Jory, you saw those pictures, Jory. They've got such big noses and they're so wrinkly. They're such weird little creatures, and I adore them.
I apologise so hard for the fact that basically I'm just evil on this.
Why are you evil?
Because he's going to poison the Aardvarks.
I am not going to poison the aardvarks. The villains might poison the aardvarks. But this is a crime drama going on.
Remember what happened in the playtest when someone hurt someone? When Auburn finally got pushed enough to actually be angry. Both times that happened. Do you remember what happened?
Well, yeah, fair play.
Because it completely derails your game.
Yes.
We've already we have gotten the word of warning, and I
Auburn rolled really well when he's actually crossed.
Yes. I like the idea that he gets cross.
Yeah, it's very rare, but it happens.
Yep. All games come either farming sims or dating sims in the end. I think mine usually end up as murder sims.
that could be a farming sim of a different kind of farm.
Okay. So, opening up Pepperdew cage, however. Pepperdew stalks out and he's a big old thing. It's just over 1 meter long. And his front claws have been shod in bronze.
I'm sorry, say that again?
His front digging claws are bronzed.
As in, they're not like bronze gloves that have been made. They're actually. Wow.
You're not sure whether it's some kind of alchemical thing or whether they're simply caps that have been coal forged over the claws. But he strikes sparks as he walks. You've never seen an aardvark. Well, you've never seen an aardvark. Well, you probably have, but Hamus hasn't. You've never seen an aardvark swagger.
Never seen an aardvark fly?
But Pepperdew swaggers out of his cage.
The confidence of a stud Aardvark.
Yep. You can all but hear. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, we lost Felix.
This is a grim dark fantasy game
Yep,
with stud Aardvarks.
It
that
is.
Go out.
it is indeed. It is a
It's
grim dark.
fantasy. Ba, ba, da, ba.
has an adorable name and
I'm
attitude.
I'm resisting singing "Eye of the Aardvark." That's got to be said.
Okay. So,
I can't deal with this. I'm going to calm down a bit.
what have I killed Felix?
Felix.exe has stopped
I
working.
think so. Yep.
I'm sorry, I apologise. But I always think that dark fantasy needs a lot of humour to balance out the nasty bits.
It's dark. Yeah. It also
You need
it also needs a bit more dark. We haven't had any dark since somebody who was got thrown out of a window. We're overdue for some more dark now, I think.
Yeah, that's fine.
Unless you can't, which I don't, because it didn't happen to me.
Yeah, that's true. Right, so, are you indeed going to walk Pepperdew?
Yes, because I am going looking for a tailor. So
Okay.
I will,
And I will go.
walk the Aardvark.
Okay, Abelard produces a harness and heavy-duty lead. And you can put it on him. And it's a little bit like, you know, the double bar harnesses that guide dogs have.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit like that. It's almost like reins. You kind of got baby reins on your aardvark. In the sentences I never thought to say in my entire gaming career.
Yes.
Right.
I'm
Is
the time I walked to Binturong, and I'm just imagining it as very similar. Binturong is like it's called a bear trap. They're about the same size, probably same level of going and sticking its head into everything it finds while being hawked.
Yes, one of the local wildlife parks has got a couple of binturongs.
They are the cutest.
And yeah, they post Facebook videos of them.
They are adorable and smell of popcorn.
Smell of popcorn?
Beg pardon?
For some reason, their scent glands just smell like popcorn.
Okay.
No, I love binturongs. And everyone goes, oh wow, what are they related to? And the answer is pretty much nothing. They're in the family all on their own.
Binturong.
Yeah. I think they're distantly related to martins, aren't they? Right.
We can't have one game with Aardvarks and then another one with Martins. That's...
There's no skill for aardvark wrangling, I notice.
No.
Not
no,
yet.
there isn't. There isn't, I'm afraid. So, what I am going to do...
Droth is going to make an entire new class just called Aardvark Whistle.
No, God, no.
Aardvark wrangler, yeah.
Mate, I've got a PDF of this.
This is true, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was in April Fool's.
It was, yeah. It
Oh,
was,
yeah. Well, it's already been a thing. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Keep forgetting.
Yes. This is an official
Fun
thing.
fact,
I mean,
binturongs. But do go on.
everyone likes binturongs.
Fun
right.
fact: they are an alternative name in Swedish for them are apparently bear marten. So
Anyone who
There you
doesn't
go.
like Binturongs has no soul.
Wait, what's Martin in Sweden? Mord. Oh, never mind. Yeah.
Mord. Yeah, Mord.
Oh, but I thought there were... Into the... I'm not going to speak Swedish. That's just weird for the rest of the stream.
Oh, as opposed to the hive of normality that this whole stream has been thus far.
Yes. This can't get weirder. Go ahead.
Isn't Muslok, isn't that the... Är inte det liksom? Eller...
The binturong is the bear marten, not the aardvark.
Okay, yeah, okay.
We're talking about binturongs, not aardvark.
I've lost track of this conversation. I'm still recovering from Pepperdew John Cena. You carry on. Sorry.
And for your information, aardvark and jordsvin.
Oh, okay. You too. Okay. I
Meet
don't know.
the anteater.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Chrono, don't panic. I'm not reaching for what they need, but no, you are right, indeed.
I will shut up now.
No, it's absolutely
I don't know
fine.
why I'm asking for the Swedish names because it's not like I've ever seen them in the wild anyway. So it doesn't really matter. It could be a fake animal for all I know.
That's all right. I'm trying to remember how to spell aardvark.
Dragons, aardvarks, such fantasy creatures.
Yes.
Truly. All animals are fake until I see them.
I think aardvark is spelled Deusexmachina in this instance. But I'm not positive.
That's why I didn't have it. I had to bookmark it because it's actually just a page. Right. I was just looking for the PDF thinking, I've got this. I'm confused. What's going on? Actually, I'm confused because I'm inserting high-end aardvark gambling into my grimdark fantasy.
Yep.
You did this to yourself.
I did. I really did. I am the architect of my own destruction.
The architect, if you will.
Ah, dear. Yes, the book of Scaly Tales. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Aardvark. They've got, of course, the twin ears, vertical.
As opposed to most animals who only have like 1 ear or 3.
Oh yeah, 3 often.
Well, no, small ear species.
I'm sorry.
It's like sloths, but with ears instead of toes. You have 2-eared aardvarks.
Do you realise that with vertical ears, with vertical ears, that basically gives them the same silhouette as Batman?
Yes.
Where are we? Where is this session heading? I don't even know.
Where is this session heading? I don't
we
know.
ended with ghosts, and now we're spiraled.
Yes, you ended with ghosts, and now you're walking the aardvark. While Auburn runs around chasing baby aardvark puppies.
And no one even knows what Nell and Undrick are doing.
Oh, what you guys are doing is making me a roll in a minute.
I spent all day at work thinking about the whole situation with Boar and the bomb and how was I going to deal with it, what was Amos going to do. I could have just not bothered, couldn't I?
No, I'm actually really glad that you did. I'm really, really glad you did, because it's going to be needed.
Yes, I am, Fox.
So, Aardvark swagger. Right, okay, that is actually a benefit. I thought it did. Can now use its intimidation stance twice per fight. Right. So, Aardvark training. Hey ho.
We walk the Aardvark. Whoa, we walk the Aardvark. Whoa.
Right, so you're heading off to the tailor first, I'm assuming. Were you going to go and see the bookie as well?
No, I'm not that fussed about the bookie.
Okay. So, we will cut over to the shop as you head off looking for a tailor. Hadavir, I wear nothing but robes. Are you going to recommend a tailor
to him? Robes as heavy outdoor gear. He looks more like an outdoorsman and woodsman than he does a mage, until he's carrying a staff and starts doing weird magic-y stuff.
Okay.
Until he starts doing his magic.
Oh.
Okay.
So he's very much an outdoorsman and has a utilitarian look. His clothes are big, heavy, winter-type clothes.
Lumberjack mage.
Great. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. Zap on
So
that.
it's now a good time for me to go and bribe my cat into leaving me alone for 5 minutes.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Right, I will accept.
Okay. So, back in the shop.
Yes.
Apparently I can't mute my camera anymore.
Did somebody just ban you from all interactions
That's
online?
muted. My camera's muted.
it isn't.
No, it is according to the little mute the camera icon.
Okay.
That works.
I tell you what, Fish. There you go. I've blacked you out on stream.
Okay.
So, at the shop,
I think I know why.
you are engaged in some DIY.
No, I can see you. Never mind. Sorry. It's been this entire time and now I can finally see a fish. Carry on.
I can see fishy. Okay. So, I would like you guys to make me some crafting checks.
Yes.
Oh,
I think, do you want, like... Because I have some specific thoughts of some specific things I want to have done and some just general...
You have specific thoughts of specific things you'd specifically like to have specifically done?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
If I do all of those S's, my brain will destroy itself.
That's fair. That's fair. So, I am happy to listen to your specific ideas.
Right. My main thing with the door, I think, is because it would be like too much metal, I think, to make an entire blast door. So what I want to do is I want to do basically like bars that go across in like, so there's like, even if they would completely remove the door,
Yeah.
it would still be blocked, so they wouldn't be able to like get in. Like it would be too small for like an average person to crawl inside.
Okay, so you want to put extra bar doors, extra door bars across.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
you're going to be mounting brackets either side, and then
the
whole planks in.
Yeah, potentially also in like weld them together to like one handle, so you can just drag all of them across.
You're inventing shop shutters.
I am correct. Yes.
Right. Okay, well let's head to the crafting section, shall we? Because this may well be something that you are inventing and that therefore counts towards diagrams.
Ooh.
Yeah. This is not how I was expecting this evening to go. I will give you guys that for nothing. Because what?
Drott prepared encounters and, you know,
Yes!
all kinds of adventures.
Drott's
And
got
look at us.
encounters involving wolves.
And we've gone left at the lights.
You have indeed gone left at the traffic lights, but it's mostly my own fault, so I don't care. But to be honest, I will be happy to have this, because this will put things back on track.
Well.
Weirdly. Right, hang on a minute. Craftsmen and alchemists. Crafting system. Determine if you have the right diagram. Determine if you have the components. Make a crafting roll. Okay, for every tool you can make or buy, there's a diagram that explains how to make it. You either have the diagram memorized or have the physical diagram in front of you. So, this is going to be making your diagram.
Also, Felix, do you think Nell and Dondrick should be cooperating on one thing at a time, or are you doing separate things?
Potential, because I think in Dondrick's mind they need to kind of get like the basics done, just so they're protected for the night, if nothing else.
Yeah.
So they might spread out a little bit. They might probably like discuss things beforehand. And I also think, honestly, like if you're fine with it, that maybe if we have like commissions and things, that Nell might potentially also work on like making sure that we have things to sell. Actually work on more of the not like, of course, something with the ornament as you can, but also because I figure we might not be able to take time off as craft men for us to craft people.
Sure.
If that makes sense in your mind as well, or what do you think Nell would be? Because Dondrick is going to focus very hard on this for like probably staying up way too late and just really digging into this.
I think Nell is gonna take you up on that and continue on the commissions, and when there is a couple of minutes to spare, she's gonna help you out and see what else needs to be done. And I'm just gonna assume, and Chrono, correct me if I'm wrong in chat, I'm assuming that Loic is just kind of standing in front of the shop and trying to like get the customers to believe that everything is normal, nothing strange going on here.
All is well. All is well.
Just doing some redecorating. We also need to fix the stairs properly. I just remembered.
Yes,
that's
you do.
probably more your thing than Nell's. Since Nell's weapons and your armor.
I mean, true, yeah.
So if Nell is assessing the situation, for example, does that make it an analysis? I'm sorry.
No, you have every right to come at us with puns after what we're putting you through.
It's fine. It's all fine. Mummy.
Yeah.
Professional
But yes,
gamer
back
me.
to Felix inventing things.
Yes. Okay. Right.
So yeah,
I would
making-
like you to actually with this, since you've talked through the design, and you've got crafting materials on hand, I will just take a crafting roll.
Sweet. Time for me to decide if I'm going to use the digital dice or because some of these dice roll terrible, some of them roll well. I have ordered new dice because I don't trust these anymore. Also my hair's sticking up weird. So I'm trying to decide if I should use the digital ones or these ones. I'm gonna use my dice. I'm gonna use the white one. I'm gonna use the red one. I'm gonna use the red one. Right, crafting. So that's just a D10.
Yep.
Okay, that's very average.
Plus your crafting skill and your
yes.
craft stat.
Yes, so that's 11 plus 10. That's 21.
Wow. Okay.
I rolled a 5, by the way, so I rolled in the middle.
Whoa.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, it's going to take you a couple of hours, to be honest, in your armourer's workshop to construct the bars to your satisfaction.
I'm basically making armor for the building.
You're basically armouring the door.
Yeah.
It's going to take you a good couple of hours to combination of rivet and weld together.
Yeah. Yeah, just like a system that's very easy to close. In case we were like rushed, we could just. Once again, Dondrik has some military experience as well, so I imagine he'd.
What you're essentially building is a shield for the front door.
Yes.
So are you going to have it on a hinge or are you going to have it on a slider?
I think a slider, actually.
Okay.
Because I don't think, like, the other thing would be, like, maybe to have, like, a bar you drive down, but I think it would be too much work to like, because we had to go up on the second floor and there would be, like, a lot of carpentry, which isn't...
Really no, Felix, you mean go up on the first floor from the ground floor?
Exactly, yes. Well, you see, I wasn't going to correct him, but thank you for stepping in.
Yeah, so, and a hinge, I feel a slider would be the best thing. Potentially also on both sides, we could do like a cross thing, but on one side first, and we'll see if I might do upgrades to it later.
Okay.
Once again, the plan right now is to make sure that it works,
right?
And then we can build on it later.
Okay. So yes, the 21. Yeah, I'll let that stand. Okay. So yes, you can now fairly solidly defend the the front door.
Cool.
So
right.
Nell, while that's going on, are you taking care of the stairs?
Yeah, I'll start with that and then move on to the commissions.
Okay.
Because it's good not to fall to our deaths and become NPCs that start new plots.
Yes, because Loic only did a temporary.
Yeah.
Don't plummet to doom 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will take a crafting roll off you, please.
A crafting roll. Finally, something Nell is good at.
Yes. Had to
also,
happen.
Chrono, I definitely agree with that. I think.
What?
Chrono mentioned in chat that John Luke the Invention is one good reason why we went into business together, and I think that makes a lot of sense. He has some ideas sometimes.
Ooh, let's see. Math this. Hang on.
They're not always good. Sometimes they're all about getting things done fast, which means that they're not always the best.
That's a 24.
Bloody hell.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. In that
We're
case,
good at running.
in that case, yes, you can do it faster than otherwise you would have done. You can replace this sawn through treads and risers on the stairs, and make a solid job of it. So it's now completely safe heading to and from the basement.
The step previously was creaking, now it's not.
Yeah. It's kind of several of the steps were, death traps. And I'm guessing that also you are now removing the hooks which led to the tripwires.
Yes.
Okay.
Getting rid of any evidence that our little guest was here.
Okay. So that's fine. Okay. So yes, and with that roll, you are perfectly capable of getting that done relatively quickly again, a couple of hours. So yeah, you can then move on to the commissions that you're working on. So that is fine. So that'll cover you. Basically, this will cover your activities for the morning. Repairs, building, and commissions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call a brief break there because we're going nearly 2 hours. I mean, yes, we've only had about an hour of play, but that's entirely my fault.
Do you think we've had that much?
Shut up. Let's put it this way. I can probably, when highlighting this off, trim off the first half of the session.
It must be so nice for a player when we have a 2-hour session.
Don't.
I'm just thinking that when I start running Deadlands on Wednesdays, we're only going to have like 2 hours to play.
Yeah.
This is going to be it. End of session.
Yes.
We may need to change our playstyle a little on Wednesdays.
You may need to change your playstyle. Please note, my playstyle when I am playing is not that chaotic.
Can't confirm.
That with a straight face. Well done.
I thought when you were playing Spawn that you didn't add to the chaos that much. You mainly just killed all the NPCs.
Yeah. And we don't look too hard at Belle. So, even Belle wasn't that chaotic.
I think you literally killed all of the NPCs except
well, yeah,
one.
Swan's a homicidal maniac, what can I say? So yes, I am going to go and refresh my drink and possibly pour a large rum into a coffee. I can't promise otherwise. And I will be back in
I apologise, I can't send you any of the brandy.
That's fine, I've got...
Oh, I'm going to have whiskey. Thanks for that.
Yes. We're not encouraging drinking, it's fine. We are therefore legal under Twitch rules. It's just that sometimes...
She's not encouraging it.
I'm a bartender. I'm all for responsible drinking.
Yeah, good point.
The game
Felix
encourages
is
drinking.
contractually obliged to condone drinking.
Yes.
We played through this much, and I went and poured myself a brandy. That's just the way it works.
Fair
You
enough.
assume I have a contract. I work in the restaurant.
I can't drink. I'm on antibiotics.
Oh. Yeah, I like the unified. Oh.
Hello,
It's
thank
not
you
for
so
the.
much.
It's not for the being on antibiotics and having been injured. It's you can't drink.
But yeah,
I did notice that subtle
I'll
angle.
enjoy this on your behalf.
Thank you.
Right, back in the mode, guys.
Make certain to enjoy the flavour of it on my behalf as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
This is it's actually Californian brandy because that tastes like Spanish brandy. I prefer Spanish brandy to French brandy, and I thought, Californian brandy. There's a good chance that might just be more like Spanish brandy. So I tried it, and yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah. Okay. If anyone in chat has questions about The Witcher, especially if you are new to the
Or about our
game,
box.
because there is a sensible game under here. I promise. There is. Shut up.
lie.
There is. There's a dangerous plot and everything. So feel free to address questions to
Someday I'm
the
going to
remaining
run an old
players.
school dungeon bash just to find out whether we ever get out of the first room.
I've played your
The
old
answer
school.
there is no.
I have played like dungeon bashes in the red box set. We didn't get into the first room. We died on the way to the door.
And I apologise for anyone who isn't quite sure what I'm talking about. Yes, I do mean a dungeon crawl. I don't know whether it was a UK thing or just the group that I first started playing AD&D with, but we always called them dungeon bashes, and I got really confused then when I started seeing dungeon crawl as the standard terminology.
Yeah, that's fair.
Beware kobolds with bows.
Oh, Christ.
Absolutely.
That's why we didn't get to the door last time we tried that
It is
scenario.
why we didn't get to the door yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Red Box. That was the scenario that actually comes in the Dungeon Master's Guide in the 83 Red Box edition of Basic Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, it's only half page long. It's amazing. There's nothing past the kobolds with bows, because nobody will ever get past the kobolds with bows.
There's a whole one level, and then you're encouraged to create your own
Fair
later
enough.
levels. It's actually a really nice introductory scenario, because it gives you one level of a dungeon, which is enough to give you an idea of what a dungeon should be like, but then also encourages you to build your own dungeon to continue it on
Fair enough.
further on. So it's a great introduction to new DMs.
Okay, so
Back there.
have a think. As I said, if anyone in chat has any questions, now's the time to query. What the hell are you doing is really not the way to go, but understandable. And let me know what.
I don't remember that Beeblebox quote. So I'm going to start with the what, why, when, where, and
yes.
who. And a big side order of I think
how.
what, where, when, why, and who. With a big side order of whence, whither, and wherefore. Something along those lines.
Yes.
All the V's.
Yep.
W's. They call W's in English for some reason.
Okay.
The double
They
V's.
look like a W.
Okay.
They're clearly double V's. They're clearly
Right,
double.
and they look more like a double V. But
Yeah.
Depends how you write them. I write them like a W.
So, Fish, after your visit to the tailor, which I'm not skipping ahead of, then everybody will be synced up for afternoon activities. So have a think about what your character's going to be doing in the afternoon.
Oh, I know exactly what he's doing in the afternoon.
Okay. I said have a think about it. Don't start telling me now, because I still desperately need more coffee.
I don't need to think about it. I know exactly what he's doing. I thought about it.
Drinks.
I will swing for all of these people individually. Hey ho.
So this is now where we need the intermission lift music for Girl from Ipanema.
Yes, Girl from Ipanema would be ideal, wouldn't it? I still love that bit in Deep Rising. They're all in the elevator, and I think one of the monsters is outside, and they can hear it, and somebody says, "What's that?" And one of the characters listening to the lift music just goes, "Girl from Ipanema." Great film. If everybody hasn't seen Deep Rising, I highly recommend it. It's very, very silly and a lot of fun.
I need to watch this
I like Deep Rising. I've never seen the whole thing, but I've seen enough to know it's my kind of film.
Yeah. Drat and I have watched that on many an occasion, frequently with a drink.
Yeah, it's that kind of film.
I'm disappointed it never got a sequel, because it was so set up for at the end. So, not seeing any questions about Aardvarks turning up in the chat.
Questions about Aardvarks. Fox, do you have any questions for Aardvarks? For Aardvarks? Yeah, do you have any questions?
If you have questions about the game, questions about Aardvarks, or if you have questions that we can put to the Aardvarks on your behalf, and see what Pepperdew has to say.
I know extremely little about the game system still, but I do know a lot about the setting, if anyone is ever wondering what the heck is The Witcher and why is Tucson the entire Mediterranean area, but you know.
Maybe you're wondering what the hell Hamer's accent is, I don't know.
It's Skellige. You can tell it's Skellige because it doesn't sound like any real-world accent.
And Skellige is somehow ye olde Scandinavia meets Scotland meets...
Yeah, with a bit of Irish thrown into good measure, then it's very confusing.
And the older language is just Welsh.
That's a point. Blake's been very quiet today, hasn't he?
Yes.
Wasn't Sapkowski like really lazy with some of the naming? I think someone pointed out that Ice Turstak or whatever his name is just means like bad listener or something. It was a straight up like stupid naming.
There we go. We have a question. Tell me about the setting. Faux Fox knows nothing.
Yeah,
Thank you, Fox.
joined halfway through.
But where does one start in like the setting? Are we thinking the city? Are we thinking this entire world? Because it's an extensive
I think
universe.
it's called The Witcher. I think
But that might be a good place to start.
And now it's a tabletop game.
You may have heard of the Witcher books, the Witcher video games, the Witcher Netflix series, the Witcher comic books, or
There are comic books too?
yeah.
I did not know this.
Hang on. Oh, this is heavy. There's a bunch.
Oh my word. Cool.
Yeah. And this is not all of them. This is just the ones that are in a library edition so far. So, yeah. I gotta get that back up there. There you go.
I think the important thing that has to be borne in mind with The Witcher as a setting and a game, with regards to our campaign, is the fact that we don't have one. We've completely avoided and ignored witches in their entirety for this entire game. In fact, for the whole of the first scenario, we just had a couple of criminals. We've only had someone who could fight turn up to this scenario, and he's a secondary character.
Yeah, it made our first encounter with a drowner when there were just two criminals really quite tense.
Yes, I thoroughly enjoyed stabbing a drowner in the back of the head and then running away. Yeah, world calling with cryptids is about right.
But for the most part, the cryptids that are crawling around are created by the badness of humanity that's doing a thing about it.
Judd introduced me and Nell and Dondrick, but no one else.
Red was so deserved to be introduced.
She did really though. She said our names and we
She
nodded.
tried. She tried.
Introduce yourself and your two characters, because you've got to be special.
There's two of us with two characters.
Yeah, but
Although one of them is
I've sidelined.
missing, presumed absent.
Maybe we should do like the banners that we have on the mutant one.
Yeah, we should probably get them sorted out, but they haven't been done for this one, have they? So okay then, let's just for a moment briefly talk about Hamus. Because Hamus is a lot of fun. The only problem is that once I start doing the Hamus voice, I can't stop. It's really hard.
And it's quite an infectious accent.
It does do that, yeah. It catches onto you, and you can't. It just doesn't let go. So Hamus is a Skellige farm boy. So the Skellige are essentially Scottish Vikings. Is the simple way of describing them, really.
Using round shields.
But in his case, he grew up on a farm. Half of his family hated him and wanted to kill him, so he decided to leave. The life path system in this game creates wonderful results. It really does.
Really does.
So his history is that he jumped ship. He hopped on a ship to get away from the farm, decided he didn't like sailing either, jumped ship at the first port that they got to, and largely just because he didn't know anything else, started stealing to survive, and has become a career criminal along the way. He encountered a renegade, I forgot what they're called, Nilfgaard, that's it, a renegade Nilfgaarder minor noble, if I remember rightly, turned conman, essentially, who became his partner in crime, and the first scenario is their adventures in a town called Gallaswine. That went interestingly, and afterwards they've wound up here. Dagrid, his partner, has made himself scarce. He's in town doing his own thing at the moment and periodically touching base back at the inn, communicating with Hamus so that he knows what Hamus is doing and Hamus knows what he's doing, but he is not appearing in this scenario. And everybody else here, Hamus has literally only known, I think, 2 days, if that.
Yeah.
I think it's been 2 days, yeah.
I think it's 2 days now, yeah.
So that was Hamus.
And then there's another one. So I can still not remember it.
Blake.
My other character is Blake. Blake of Caravan, who is Cadwenny. It's very difficult going from Hamus to Blake because Blake is supposed to have a vaguely Welsh accent, and I find that very difficult to go into after doing the Cod Irish terrible Gallagher.
God, imagine being able to do accents at all.
Yeah. God.
Felix, you can do a Russian accent at least.
I can
vaguely.
it's not good. It's not good. It's not good. I can try. It's a big European, and I can do a very Swedish one, which is
On the subject of bad Russian accents, have you seen our Crimson Skies videos?
Thank you.
Yep,
I am back.
Hello,
Oh,
Glenn.
God.
So it comes back to us just dragging her, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, her Russian accent sounded brilliant compared to Midas's accent, which my excuse for which was that he was transatlantic. One of his parents was British, the other one American. He grew up between the two continents and as a result has an accent that sounds nothing like either.
Didn't he grow up in New York, LA, and England?
New York, LA, and London, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only other accent I can do is a very Swedish one, but that one hurts. It hurts me personally whenever I do it. So, because it's like how all my grandparents sound, who barely know English. It's terrible.
Okay.
Anyway, Blake is some. No, that's not Blake's accent. I don't know where that went.
No.
But
But
at the moment, I cannot get Blake's accent. Maybe if I start reciting an episode of Ivor the Engine, I might do it.
Ivor the Engine, look you. The trouble is, the only way I can do a Welsh accent is if I do an impression of my grandmother.
You largely have to start reading off police names. Like that. If you start doing things like that.
And don't know.
Once you start this, once you start
Yeah,
saying some of the police names, then it comes.
it's
Okay.
Colwyn. Okay.
Blake is a former mercenary.
Have you
He's an
been
alcoholic.
trying to get into the accent long enough?
I still haven't quite managed it. But yeah, Blake is a lot of fun. But I haven't done much with him yet, but he has a lot of potential.
Okay. I take it, by the way, he is doing the door work.
He's basically just hanging around guarding the inn at the moment, yeah.
I always imagine him guarding the door by sitting down next to it and drinking beer.
That's a lot of how he does it, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds pretty accurate to me, to be honest.
Just plumps the great axe down, and now it's just surface intimidation.
Yeah,
Behind the door.
absolutely.
Yeah, if we need to keep the door closed, he'll just dump his Highland Mauler in front of it. It'll never move again.
Yeah, who's that? Okay.
That's Thor's hammer.
Yes.
Only bigger. More like Wolf's Happy Stick from 2000 AD.
Happy stick. Okay. Now I really do want to see a Johnny Alpha. Right. Okay. Let's get back to it. Where were we? There we were. Hello, plot. You exist. Damn your eyes. Right, your tailor. Or the tailor. How are you locating a tailor?
Well, since nobody would tell me where there was one, I'm just wandering around till I find one. I know where there's a marketplace,
Okay.
so I thought I'd start there. There might be a tailor shop there.
Right.
So I'm walking an aardvark into a crowded market.
With a mage.
Fortunately, you do have a mage sort of walking behind bodyguard style.
I also have lots of knives and a sword.
There is that. Okay, Fishy, I would like Hamus, please, to make me a practiced paranoia check.
Oh, now that Hamus can do. Unless I do that.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Okay, so,
Fish!
for those who don't know the game system, this game uses a D10 which explodes. If you roll a 10, you can roll again and add it to the original roll, and this keeps on going, and you can get some really high rolls that way. If, on the other hand, you roll a 1, then you roll again and subtract it from the original roll. Which is how, on a D10 plus 12, I managed to get a result of 7.
I don't know how you do it, Fish. I don't understand.
Press the button, it does it for me. It's automated. Fantasy Grounds is brilliant. It can automate my crap.
Automate your crap.
Automator.
Okay. Right
And it's
then.
not Fantasy Grounds, because if I roll real dice, it works out much the same way.
Okay. So you're standing at the side of the marketplace, assessing the shop potential and looking for the
So
signs.
obsessed with his tailoring now that he's just not paying attention.
He's just not paying
Not like
attention.
him.
No, you're not used to this many
All
people.
of this is just too much for him, clearly. Yeah.
He's not a big city boy.
He's obviously too distracted by the aardvark.
Jelly ball.
Despite his reluctance, he's just really into the aardvarks now, and he can't take his eyes off it.
The aardvark is sneezing as people kick up clouds of dust from the floor.
Aardvark sneezing.
It's sort of the most concentrated squeak of a sneeze because it's all coming through.
There. You're disturbing my aardvark.
Okay, saying that's a random passerby.
Random people who are kicking up dust around the aardvark.
Okay.
Yeah.
You get a couple of slightly strange looks, and a couple of sorry, mate.
I hope so, please.
A small child comes wandering up, about waist high, roughly. Oh, can I pet it?
You might not want to get too close. This is a trained fighting aardvark.
Oh, she's gorgeous. She's a little cootie, isn't she? She's gorgeous.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
Would like to remind everyone, fighting aardvarks looks like drunk teddy bears.
With sparks off its paws while it walks.
Yes, I'd like to point out that basically he's got nail varnish on,
The
effectively.
cybernetic fighting aardvark.
Yes.
That's the next thing she's doing, because it's basically the same system. The next thing she's going to do, she's putting these fighting aardvarks into Cyberpunk Red.
Why wouldn't
Where
I?
she's going to be seeing cybervarks.
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
Bringing it out
I
in
can
Night
equip.
City.
I can equip aardvarks with scratchers.
Cybernetically enhanced aardvarks.
Yep.
Of course.
Basically the same game system as Cyberpunk Red. It can be done.
Cybervarks.
They could have flamethrowers in
dear
their
God.
snouts.
Yeah, you can. Yes, there's all sorts of things. I mean, hell, if you really want, you could be an aardvark.
Well, that's the
Cerebral
full body,
transfer.
Gemlab Alpha.
Yeah. Sorry, Fish.
full body replacement. Yeah, you
Yeah.
could be.
I mean,
an aardvark.
yes, admittedly, you do need a shed load of therapy to
Or-
cope with the fact
or
that
you
you're
could-
now an aardvark.
You could go in a slightly different direction. Instead of Cyberpunk Red, you go over to Mechton and you start building aardvark form mecha. Giant robotic fighting aardvarks. All of this is veering a little bit too far away from my tailoring expedition, though. So,
It is.
Drunk teddy bears. Drunk teddy bears knocking down cities.
Yes. So the small child reaches out and basically, literally pats Pepperdew on the head.
he's an old Pepperdew. Not get overexcited.
Pepperdew makes a strange noise. Do you have animal empathy or anything along those lines?
I don't know.
Do either of
Any
you
animal
have...
who knows anything about a sheep?
Fair enough. So neither of you have any idea about animals at all.
Not a clue.
It's almost like they got in over their heads.
Let's just double check my skills.
I mean, I don't know what it would come under. I've got 0 in wilderness survival, if that helps.
Wilderness... wilderness survival's a possibility?
I have wilderness survival.
I've got
Okay.
0 in monster law, if that helps.
Go with -4 to the roll on wilderness survival.
So -4 to my 0 skill.
Yes. That's either of you.
74.
Right. Rolling wilderness survival at -4. I bet it comes out higher. Yep. No. Yes, it did. Came out higher than my my best skill on the character sheet that I just rolled.
What'd you get?
That's a 10.
Okay. Okay. Hamus, as far as you're concerned, it sounds like Pepperju's getting annoyed. That's clearly, it sounds a little bit like a growl the dog makes. And when the dog makes that noise, you know that it's about to bite you, and therefore, yeah, you're fairly sure that means Pepperju's getting annoyed. As opposed to Hadavir, you're 99% sure that Pepperju's loving this.
She's probably a good job because Hamus is very much of the I want to kid. It's not my fault.
Hamus, take note. Pepperju likes that.
I think you're wrong there. I don't think he's happy.
Pepperju collapses to the floor, rolls over, pulling Hamus down to one knee if he hangs onto the reins.
Strong aardvark.
It's a fighter aardvark.
It's a metre-long block of muscle.
Could Orban ride on the aardvark?
No.
Oh.
No. A gnome potentially could.
What have you done to my aardvark?
The kid leans down and starts scratching at Pepperju's underbelly.
Why did I let myself get out into this? Yes,
It's doing the one back leg thing. You know that dogs do when you scratch their belly?
No, I'm going to ignore that and look around for Taylor.
Okay. So, after a minute or so, yes, Pepperju rolls back and the kid walks off, waving. And yes, I would like you to make me an awareness check, please. Yeah, it is awareness. Did you take case the area?
I did.
In that case, I'll take case the area.
So if this is awareness, I'll
well,
be points.
I'm not really casing the area. I'm just looking for a Taylor. Casing the area is more what Dagwood's doing. It's spending the time looking around to get later bonuses. I don't think this is going to count for that.
Okay, but an 18 awareness,
but my
that's
awareness
fine.
comes out of 18, yeah.
Far side of the marketplace, there's a small road leading off, and you can see it hanging out into the alleyway. Well, it's not really an alleyway, it's kind of a narrow street.
It's a back street.
Yeah, back street. That it has a wooden suit of clothes.
That's going to be very uncomfortable to wear.
Uh-huh. It's a sign that there is a tailor
Drag my over to this back street then.
Okay. You can indeed.
That's not good, you are, aren't you? You're supposed to be a fighting aardvark. Supposed to be a stud fighting aardvark. And there you are, rolling around in the mud, making a fool of yourself. Got a lot to learn.
It hisses at you.
Don't you start that with me. I don't care.
Spot the person who has conversations with his cat.
I don't know what you're talking about. No, I pick it.
Right.
Absolutely, Magpie, yes. That would be far more interesting. It would be grimdark.
I'm sorry if I'm boring you, Fish. I do apologise. Oh, hello.
So, yes.
Right. Yep, so I take it you are...
somewhere I can tie the aardvark up outside.
There's not exactly a, doggy...
You're telling me this place doesn't have an aardvark hitching post?
No.
I am appalled. I really am.
You should complain to the management.
Okay, are you going to give him to Hadavir then?
On the subject of what's being said in chat, I would just like to refer people to one of my favourite radio shows of days gone past. I'm sorry, I'll read that again. In which, in one episode, when John Cleese was, I can't remember what it was he was saying, but he was going a bit off on one on something. And somebody said, do you know there might be children listening? What have you got to say to that? And he responded, can I have one on toast?
Oh.
Ouch. What?
Have one on toast. Yes. Cheese, scrambled egg, child, apparently. So, right, I would like you, Fishy, to let me know what it is you're asking the tailor.
I assume I'm just going to have to leave Hadavir holding the aardvark.
Yes, you are indeed going to have to leave Hadavir walking the aardvark.
Whoa. Everybody walk the aardvark.
Yes.
Yep. Good morning.
Okay. Behind the counter is a bald little man, and you realise that very little, with a round face and long thin fingers.
Good morning to you, sir. I perceive that the GM has got hold of the supplement that contains halflings.
Yes, I have. And I'm not ashamed of it.
Not ashamed to use it.
No.
Good morning. I hope you can help me. I have recently had a change of circumstance. And as a result, I need some new clothes because I need to look a bit more reputable than I do at the moment. As you can see, this is not an appropriate attire for a businessman.
He looks you up and
for those
down.
Who don't know, Hamus basically wears rags to all intents and purposes. They're fairly sturdy and serviceable, but they look really knackered.
Yeah. Oh, that's not what I meant to do.
Oh, and they're covered in patches and embroidery as well.
Yes. He collects things, doesn't he?
He collects patches and things, yeah.
Yes. Okay. The tailor looks you up, looks you down, looks you up again, cocks his head. Right. And what did Sir have in mind?
Well, now, I'm new in town, and I don't really know what fashions are around here. So I'm hoping that you can advise me on something suitable for an upstanding man. I've just come into possession of an inn. So I need to make a good impression to those who come to stay in my
A
establishment.
man of property.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Oh, I'm sure I've got something I can get you into.
That's lovely.
Right.
Okay.
I'm going to need more than one change of clothes, obviously. And I'm going to need something something off the rack that I can just take away with me now as an interim measure while you're getting the rest of my outfit sorted out.
Off the rack. Off the rack.
Yeah. Unless you can sew really bloody quickly.
My work is not rushed ever, but
That's
it is
why
of a high standard.
I need something now because I'm expecting that you will be taking your time to do a grand job and provide me with exactly the best possible outfit that I could be wearing. And that's not going to happen straight away, is it? So that's why I'm assuming that you might have something handy for an emergency situation like this, where somebody needs something in a hurry.
Well, I suppose I could.
Definitely something in dark colours.
But Sir's a summer.
No, I'm a Scaliger.
Oh, well, that explains it. That tint on the hair, that is just so uncommon.
Not where I come from.
Well, I mean, you do see a lot of your countrymen around, but they tend to be more dressed for comfort than for fashion.
Absolutely. This is why I'm in need of your help, you see, because that's what I grew up with, and I know it's just totally inappropriate.
he leans over the counter, and he comes up to like your chest. You have seen a similar arrangement before. The innkeep in Gallaswine.
Had
a set of
raised section behind the bar.
So does this guy, and he leans forward and grabs both your forearms. We can work together. I can make something of you.
I should make aware that if he's grabbing both of my forearms, it's going to be quite obvious to him that I have a knife secreted up one of them in a string sheath.
Okay. Let's see if he cares. Yeah, he notices. Okay. So we'll need the extra space in the wrists, yes?
Not just the wrists. Looking around, making sure there's nobody else coming in. I'm going to need concealment space for at least 5 knives.
5?
It's a dangerous business running an inn.
No, I totally understand. My cousin ran an inn, and every single night you would not believe the bodies we dragged out.
Mm-hmm.
I can totally
Not to mention the bombs coming through the window.
Oh gosh. You live such an exciting life, sir.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping I could settle down and stop living an exciting life in this town, but so far it's not panning out.
I'll never stop being exciting.
So, you're obviously going to want to take some measurements, but then, if I leave you a down payment, he's going to start counting out coins onto the counter.
Mm-hmm.
Count out 100 crowns, should we say?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
so
fair.
I'm sure that will be fine for a down payment to get work started on. Shall we say 3 outfits?
3 outfits. What will Sir be requiring? I'm guessing something practical. Will Sir be serving behind the bar, or will you be front of house?
I have staff for that. Very much front of house. Yes, mingling with the crowds, welcoming people in, that sort of thing. But so I'm going to need freedom of movement, obviously, because I'm going to I won't be standing still. I'll be moving around a lot. So I'm going to need freedom of movement.
A true
comfort,
host.
Because I'll be there for hours.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Actually, can you recommend me a good shoemaker? Because I'm going to need some nice, comfortable shoes. Because if I'm going to be standing for hours, that's going to be important.
I do have a cousin who is a cobbler, sir.
That sounds ideal.
Excellent stitches. Very, very small. Very satisfactory to, the larger gentleman.
While we're having this conversation, by the way, Hamus is surreptitiously casing the joint to see if he can see any signs of where this guy keeps his money.
This guy's being lovely to you.
Yep. And I want to pay him very well. It's just ideally I'd like to pay him with his own money.
Oh. Am I being too OTT with this guy? Because I love him. He's sweet. Right, I would like you to make me an awareness check, please.
An awareness check.
Yup. And...
That's a 20.
Oh, okay, never mind then. We'll skip the and. Right. Behind the desk, there is basically, the bolts of fabric?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those racks running all the way down to about a foot off the floor. The bottom drawer of that has 3 locks.
Yeah.
You're not saying that's where he keeps his cash.
But there's a very good chance.
But it would seem quite a good starting bet.
There's something he doesn't want to lose in there. I mean, it could just be the patterns for the full collection, but you never know.
That's worth money too.
Okay. So, if Sir would care to step into the fitting room, and I can start measuring, Sir.
Sir will step away.
Okay. He basically leads you through into a well-appointed room with 2 mirrors and the little curtained alcove, because changing rooms have never changed, ever, and will never change. And by the way, nobody ever looks good in changing room mirrors. Hands down. It's like hairdresser mirrors, forget it. Okay. That's random. Well done. Well done, Chrono. And he pulls out a little step ladder, and it's basically up and down that, and measuring you in directions that you didn't even know were directions.
I've never been measured for a suit of clothes before, so he can take whatever liberties he wants. Amos doesn't know any better.
He does across the back, he does down the arms, he does across the chest, he does round the waist, he does around 6 inches above the waist, he goes for the inner leg, both legs, which get separate notations down. The whole bit. Measures around the top of the thighs, both get individually and getting you to stand with your feet together. The whole bit. And basically produces this page that any decent mathematician would just salivate over.
Okie dokie.
So, yes. Do I take it that Sir is leaving it to my judgment?
Absolutely. I have total confidence in you.
Fantastic.
You know my needs. I've explained to you the situation and what it is that I'm doing. I have complete faith in you. Dark
colours. Is Sir averse to shades of colour?
Oh, absolutely not. No.
So I can work within the tonal range, clarified as dark.
Yeah. And there is one other stipulation that I must make.
Okay.
He gestures at all the patches and embroidery and so forth on his current outfit. These mementos of my past life are of great importance to me, and at some point in the not too distant future, when I've got my new wardrobe, I will be wanting to transfer them onto an item of clothing that can be worn with these outfits, perhaps a mantle or a coat of some kind.
It's vital. It's vital to preserve one's heritage.
Absolutely.
So good to meet someone who realises how important
whatever I'm wearing underneath it will have to match.
I'm sure I can come up with something that will suit Sir's needs.
Thank you. Necessarily dark colours, but not plain. I do like a bit of embroidery.
He glows. Perhaps bird-crested waves to represent the whole Skellige heritage.
I'll be completely honest. I'm not really a very marine type of Skellige. I actually grew up on a farm. Rolling hills.
A man of the land.
Sheep. So many bloody sheep.
Perhaps touches of leather and wool.
That sounds quite good.
Yes. Just hints, just to set off. Yes. And yes, I do believe I have some samples that Sir could select from now. If Sir wishes something to wear away instead of what Sir is currently wearing.
Absolutely.
Okay. So he moves over to a chest of drawers and starts pulling each one out. There are folded jackets, shirts, trousers. I will say I've never played Far Cry 4, so if there is any resemblance, it is completely accidental. But I've had this guy in my head for ages. I didn't know what game he was going to turn up in, but I knew he was going to turn up in something. It was going to be this or Cyberpunk, let's face it. But no, he's just so happy. He can fit you, although there is an element of he provides a sash in order to pull an outfit, it's something into exactly the right thing. Because he said, I take it sir does not wish to wait around in order to complete the necessary adjustments.
How long would they take?
Possibly a couple of hours?
No, I don't think I can do a couple of hours. I've got a lot of work to do, obviously, for the new business.
Well, let me do what I can then, sir. And I can demonstrate how you can wear these in such a fashion as to accommodate your new lifestyle.
That would be appreciated. Thank you very much.
Right. While this is going on, would Hadavir like to roll me awareness, please?
I'll try, but Hadavir's not very aware.
Yep, that's a shame.
Hadavir becomes aware there is an aardvark.
Basically, yes.
Okay. Would Monty, would Nell, Dondrick, and if you happen to have dice, Chrono, that would be you as well. But otherwise, Nell and Dondrick, like to make me awareness checks, please.
Oh, sure.
They become aware that there is not an aardvark.
Let's see if this is one of the good dice. That's we've gone from rolling very poorly to rolling blankly average. That's another 5 plus whatever my pluses are. But that's an 11.
Okay.
18 for me.
Okay. Okay, so that's Nell, 18, Dondrick, 11, Hadavir, 10. Would Auburn like to make me an awareness check, please?
Auburn's out in the back garden.
Yeah,
sure.
I know.
Yeah. He also will become aware that there are little aardvarks.
Indeed, Auburn can roll practice paranoia.
Very good and very worrying.
Kronos asking if it's alright to have spent some of the
I've been spending mine, so
Yes,
I hope so.
yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
Chrono.
And yet still I've got a very crap awareness.
Got an 18, Auburn did.
Right. Okay.
Ooh, did you get a negative explosion or a good explosion, Chrono?
Not that it matters.
He's not me. It was probably a good one.
I just love the trust I have in my players. Because I can't even hear him. Whoa!
Ooh, that's some explosion.
What is the number, please?
43.
10 plus 10
43.
plus 7 plus 10 plus 6 is 43.
That wasn't it a 43 that I got when I got the massive explosion.
Yes.
So we're on a tie now, Chrono. We're on a tie.
Between the two, scenarios, we've had at least 3 rolls in the
What?
40s.
Spud, what?
He sees all.
Okay, Spud, what were you saying? Because that was completely incomprehensible from our end.
Never mind, I was just doing dumb things.
Fair enough. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you rolled pretty well, but Jesus. Okie doke. And this is where I realise that...
I think Loic's consciousness has opened and he becomes aware of the nature of the universe.
Yeah.
He becomes aware of the concept of Twitch.
Yes.
He becomes aware that he's not currently with the other players, and something is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that role lets Loic see Chrono.
Like looking in the mirror.
Anybody familiar with the film The Man with X-Ray Eyes? Ray Milland.
Nope.
No, but the title is pretty explanatory.
Can hardly recommend. Okay, thank you for watching, folks. That was...
I won't.
Okay. Okay.
Hi, Fox.
I'm not surprised you're flabbergasted, Chromo.
Fox is going to get her mics.
Okay.
Gotta go get my mics.
I'm assuming Miles,
Yeah.
possibly.
No, she's going to get the many mics.
Yes, because Fox is terrifying.
She's from...
Although,
There are many microphones, there are many people named Mike.
I believe Mike used to be military slang for a cannon, as in sort of 30mm type cannon rather than old school blowing down a castle type cannon.
Okay. Right.
From how many millimeters, Mike.
Okay. So, as the morning has ended, it is early afternoon when Hamus is inside the tailor's. As in, like, just near midday.
Taking longer than he had anticipated, but he's kind of rolling with it.
Yeah. Getting on for about 1. Mindset in hard lemonade. It's about 5 IP to boost awareness and streetwise. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, that's fine. So, I'm just gobsmacked by that 43. It's just doing my head in. Okay, Auburn. You are playing with the last of the 3... Sorry, you are cleaning out the last of the 3 puppies. Babies. This one keeps wriggling out of your hands, bouncing on the floor and making little poof noises every time it bounces. It sort of jumps, bouncing back and forth.
See it, but my heart is melting.
It's kind of, you know the boxer footwork of the bouncing back and forth.
Yeah.
It's like an old computer game. It's kind of,
You ever seen a baby go?
Yeah. Yes.
How they do that?
Yeah.
Is it fun?
Every thing is, it's not very high, but every time it hits, because they're so kind of soft and low to the ground, its belly almost hits the ground, and it makes this little woofing noise as the air is forced out of it. It seems perfectly happy.
Just gonna have a little like Telltale game style little pop up at the top. Auburn will now die for them.
They are unnamed, I will say.
I've had this aardvark for 1 day, but what happened to it?
Yes!
Yeah.
If anything happens to this, I will kill myself and everybody in the room. Okay. So.
He'll do it. You know what his rolls are like when he gets mad.
Yeah, good point. Right. The hair on the back of your neck suddenly stands up, all in unison. Your beard twitches.
Okay, you're just covered in animals, aren't you? You've got an aardvark in your arms, you've got a hair on the back of your neck.
Ouch. And I get to make use of NPCs.
Do I have any idea which direction this danger is coming from?
Yes, with that roll.
Yeah, should do.
Yeah.
The thing I really love about Practice Paranoia, which I completely forgot when I fluffed my roll, is that even if you fail it, you get no information but become suspicious.
Yeah.
Hamus was so distracted he apparently didn't even become suspicious.
Yeah. The Hamus didn't get a roll. Oh, yeah, sorry, my apologies. Yes, he did.
Before he got to the tailors.
I just assumed that he was irritated by the whole too many people thing.
Obviously, he probably thought he got the suspicion and thought it was the kid.
Yep. Quit making the fighting animals adorable. How can we send this cutie to fight?
Auburn is straight up going to be
I'll do that.
But when the end of this comes, he is straight up going to at least take one of them. Probably this particular one.
Fair enough. I will expect you to name it.
Yeah, I will name it.
Okay. So, what I will do is this is not necessarily the combat tracker situation, because it's actually 3 separate encounters, but they're all happening at roughly the same time.
Is it a certain robed halfling? What have I done to my head?
The danger is definitely coming from the direction of the brewery.
I look towards the brewery, see if I can spot anything.
Okay. There is a smell quite strongly of beer.
Is the beer on fire?
There's no smell of smoke. You're fairly sure you would have detected that.
Okay,
However...
Yes. Sorry, you carry on.
No, carry on.
No, I was going to say I drop into sneaky mode.
Okay.
I also do pick up the tiny bouncy aardvark and just sort of tuck it under my arm, so it's not bouncing around and being distracting.
Okay.
It tells me I have an aardvark under my arm.
Right, yep, they're only about a foot long, so...
Well, Auburn's a very small man.
Yes, this is true. It immediately tangles its foreclaws in your beard.
I don't have a beard. I keep telling you, he's got shitty scruff because he can't grow a proper beard. He's like the worst dwarf.
That kind of 3-inch that you've been working on for the last 6 months is skunk.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so sneaking. Which direction are you sneaking?
Towards the brewery.
Towards the brewery. Okay. I would like you then to make me a stealth check.
I just put 20 to stealth. Oh my god!
You've still got 11.
I know, but...
To be fair, that's not terrible.
No.
Right. So, does... God, yes, he does. Okay. Oh. Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
Oh, well, oh, well, oh, well, oh, oof.
Oh, well, oh, well, oh, well, oh. Splank. You hear a thrum and a slap and a hiss coming from above you.
I look up.
Okay. Barely silhouetted from the angle you are between the roof and the sky is a man's head, well, a person's head, and the front port of a crossbow.
Dodge right now.
And yep, the bolt is headed in your direction.
Well, technically, an athletics check to reposition, because I'm better at that than I am at dodging.
Okay.
The same.
Oh, seriously, dude? Right, okay. Roll your reposition.
Did either Drat critted or fumbled?
Uh-huh.
God, that's so bad.
Jesus. I'd forgotten when you said he was really good at that. I'd forgotten you were not kidding. Okay. So you rolled a total of 18 for your reposition.
Yeah.
Auburn, aka Puck.
Yeah. So, Auburn presumably is doing a diving shoulder roll.
Diving roll whilst keeping the aardvark.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that is so Puck.
it is.
I have no idea who Puck is.
Called it.
Yeah. Puck is a character from Alpha Flight.
Alpha Flight.
The Canadian superhero. Very, very bouncy.
It was really weird when he actually got free of the demon or whatever it is that he is a prison for, because he reverted to his like 6'4" height at that point, and just for a while there was this really tall version of Puck. It was weird.
Okay, so you basically you tumble the shoulder roll, and the bolt strikes the cobbles where you had been standing.
And not the kobolds where you've been standing.
No.
Thing.
And
personal carry kobolds.
Yeah. So, Chrono, because while your roll was good, Monty, I'm sorry. This is preternatural.
Yeah, we can blame it on the we're busy working on things.
Yeah. You are both in the workshop out back of the main shop. Chrono, however, Loic is upstairs. Looking at the defensibility of the upstairs windows. And directly above your head, at the window, Chrono hears a slate fall from the roof. A slither and then a crack. There's somebody on the roof.
Well, we don't know that.
No. Nell, however, registers the smash of the slate on the floor. But outside.
Where on the building is it? Is it in the front or the back, or this?
It is the front.
All right.
Sorry, my apologies. The back. I was getting turned around.
Right. So yeah, where we are.
Mm-hmm. It smashes into the courtyard outside.
It's like our workshop area. Is that I'm thinking kind of like maybe a courtyard, that has buildings surrounding it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like everyone's. Yeah.
Everyone's got their own space, but yes, they all look out onto this courtyard.
Yeah. So now let's gotta look up to the roof where she saw it slide from.
Okay.
It's like walled in, which is they're like distributed anyway. Okay.
There'll be a gate at the back because that'll be where raw materials are delivered.
Yes.
So you need to be able to get
that's probably what
the
Roderick is doing. Roderick is trying to figure out how to properly armor that one up. Yep.
Okay. Is the ceiling pitched or is there an attic space? The ceiling is pitched. Oh, no, it isn't. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong description. No, there is an attic space. There's not much of an attic space, but there is an attic space, including an entrance to a loft.
Maybe that's used as like personal storage. If we have like storage downstairs.
Yeah. Let's face it, ever since attics were invented, they've been used for storage.
Yeah.
Whether it be for junk, goods, or spare children. Right. So, yes, Chrono. That 43 lingers long enough for you to hear a double soft thud on the ceiling above you. Whoever is here is in your roof. Something nasty in the attic. Sorry, no?
I'm assuming Nell didn't see anyone on the roof and just...
make me an awareness check, please.
Alright. Hang on. Just gonna check what the heck that was. Right. Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh no! That is... because that was a bad explodey. Hang on, I still have... Alright, 7.
7. Okay.
It's not a fumble.
That's a plus.
Yeah, just as like the slate fall.
Oh dear. That's a 25.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it was just a slate falling. Nothing.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, unfortunately his stealth check was 25. So. Oh, Jesus. Exploding.
Yeah.
So. You don't see anything, but Loic is staring up at the ceiling. Because he just heard feet drop above him. And Hadavir.
Yes.
Failed your awareness check, largely.
Yes.
Since you can't be involved.
It's standing too close to one of my characters, and therefore has been infected by bad luck.
Okay, Chrono, that's cool. Yep, you can indeed make sure that the hook is latched across and then leg it downstairs. And this guy is... yeah. Okay, Hadavir.
Mm-hmm.
You, unfortunately, don't see this coming. Until you hear a hiss of a bolt heading towards your head.
Shouldn't have named your cat Hadavir.
So, ouch. You do get a defensive action. But this guy has a serious bonus because he caught you unawares.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what my spells do.
Okay.
Could you blow the arrow away mid?
Not in the middle of a busy
Only
city street without
Witchers
killing
can do
people.
that.
No.
You are in a side street, but you do have pepper dew.
I've got pepper dew. B, I'm going to start taking out walls and windows and others. It's
Yep.
not a quiet. I don't suppose there happens to be like an upright that's maybe holding an awning out or all that I could just grab and pull to try and put that in the way of the arrow, is there?
Yes. Yeah, that seems perfectly reasonable to me. If nothing else, there's a wooden tailor's sign.
That'll do. Yeah. Try and grab that and get that in the way of the arrow.
Okay. I will take this is an initiative check because the hiss is coming. This is a reflexive thing, so let's go for comparative initiatives.
Okay, initiative is done. How, remind me?
Initiative is done with... Oh, isn't it wonderful when you remember everything?
On the combat tab, there is an initiative box. I can't remember. I think it's just actually your reflex. But
it's reflex plus a d10.
There is an initiative box on the combat tab anyway, so you can either roll it from there or just roll and add the number that's in that box.
Oh, no.
Yeah, real dice would have been good there, I feel.
Oh, Hadavir. Oh, dear. Right.
What would real dice have given me? Yeah, real dice would have been better.
Can't trust the digital. Computers can't properly randomize.
No, they can't.
Oh.
This is where I find he also fluffed and the arrow's gone into the side anyway. And I can feel really cool about something.
Right, simultaneous. It is simultaneous. The flight is coming in at exactly the time. So I'm going to go with the hero's gain advantage. You both came out with a 10.
Oh, God, right.
So you get a chance. You get one chance to yank down this sign.
What skill am I doing this on?
What you're going to be doing this on is probably athletics.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. To do so, you're going to have to make a decision, and I'm going to have to pressure you slightly. Are you going to let go of your staff, or are you going to let go of pepper dew?
I never said I was bringing the staff with me.
Good point. Okay.
I don't have the staff.
Never mentioned the staff.
Okay, that's fair enough.
The staff signals me as a mage. My clothing doesn't.
Good
Mages are
point.
hated and disliked. I'm not going to advertise the fact unless I
Okay.
really, really need to.
Okay, no problem then. That's not a problem then. Okay, so yeah, you can
God.
reach
I
up.
can't I can't grapple it. Maybe brawl the sign.
No, athletics. It's a jump and a grab and a pull.
Oh, I am so screwed. So screwed.
It's one crossbow bolt.
Don't
What's the
forget
worst
that
thing?
you have luck you can spend.
You do indeed
Yes.
have luck.
I shall blow all my luck.
Okay. Right.
It still wasn't enough. Athletics is not Hadovier's strong point.
No.
No.
Okay.
Good.
You jump. You grab. That sign's actually quite well made.
I thought it might be.
And you end up hanging for a half second by one hand as the bolt drops towards you.
But in the corner of your vision, a strange box appears, reading "Achievement unlocked. Hang time."
Yeah.
Gosh damn it.
Right. That is only a standard hit, however. It was a good thought, and it could have worked had you not rolled quite so appallingly.
Yeah, I was hoping more to use just brute force to yank it down.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, unfortunately, not with that roll. Nearly, but not quite.
that was on dex. I'm a lot stronger than I am dexterous.
Yeah. Okay. Ah! Don't give me that. What? That was interesting.
You just rolled a hit location, at least.
It did, yes. No, it just then gave me an error message, which was just slightly peculiar.
Oh, nice done.
9 points of damage.
How much does
To
my
your
clothing
right
give me
arm.
in terms of armor? To what location?
Right arm.
Right arm. So I've got 3 points of armor there.
Yep.
Andy?
So, that's 6 points of damage, and you'll lose a point of armour on your right arm.
You no longer have 3 points of armor there.
And you've taken 6 points. The crossbow is sticking in your right arm. Crossbow
I would
bolt
have put a
even.
quarrel rather than an actual crossbow.
I got told off for using the term quarrel the other day.
I love the idea of the assassin just standing up slightly on the rooftop and hurling his crossbow at you.
That's you after you roll your third
Did
one
I
of
see
the...
where the bolt came from?
above and across the street. Now that you've been hit by it, and almost with the elevated position that dangling while frantically trying to pull down this sign, you can see a head and shoulders silhouetted against the sky above you.
I see head and shoulders.
You do.
Bring on the shampoo.
Yes.
And that's where we're leaving it for the week.
Damn it,
I had a
no,
feeling you might say that.
Drat, I beg of you, it's the end of the session. Let me just have one action.
One action.
I want to put all my luck into throwing a knife.
Oh, I see.
That was
In
my
that
Yeah,
case,
because it'll reset next round, next act, next section, so
in that
use it
case,
now.
in that
It
Absolutely.
was already my plan, to be fair.
Okay, in that case, I will allow Hadavir one go as well.
Okay, one does. Okay.
Open and had a bit
I've got to get my
of
character sheet back now.
Yeah. Okay, Auburn. Roll it.
Firstly, I've got to find where the hell my knife is.
Probably on the combat.
Yeah, should be under combat.
You know what I haven't done?
Put your
I haven't put my
weapons in.
inventory in. It's okay. I've still got Auburn's
Okay.
sheet.
I can give
Okay.
you the numbers on a throwing knife if that's what we're dealing with.
No, I've got it. I've got throwing knives.
Throwing knives, if I recall, are done under athletics again.
Yeah. It's under athletics. They're 1d6 damage with no pluses of any kind.
Okay, roll it.
And then it presumably, actually, is it athletics or is it small blades?
Yeah, it's athletics.
It is athletics. Because Hamus is not as good at it as he should
Yeah.
be,
My
and
lucky
he's spending
7,
points on
so that's
athletics.
+7. It's just or what do you call it? Just a straight small blade roll +7 then.
Athletics +7.
Sorry, athletics, rather. I'm not smart. And then +7. So 30.
Right. Okay. Roll damage.
1d6.
Oh, hang on. No, I take it back.
That's
So
a
criticals
crit.
then.
Yeah.
The guy does get.
territory.
The guy does get a chance to dodge. He does get a chance to dodge.
I'm so leaving my
Fail,
next
fail.
roll.
You never know, he might roll 31.
No, you beat his roll by 12, however, and if I recall correctly, in order for it to be a fatal crit, you need to beat it by 15.
Still pretty
It's
big
still, I think it's a crit. It is a crit, yes. So, yes, combat is...
If that had been a fatal crit and I just killed him right off.
I would just have been, well, laughing, actually, to be fair.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yes. Yes, it was. Hadavir, what is your plan?
Hurl a bunch of sharp stones at him. Magically.
Sharp stones. I was going to say... to be fair, I don't think you needed to say magically. I was assuming that you...
Yeah, it's the
We're
7th
going
grade
to-
spell.
Okay, I would like you in that case to make me... It's spellcasting, isn't it?
Spellcasting.
Spellcasting. Yep, by 7 or more, so...
Literally casting.
It's a
No, wait. That doesn't work in English.
It's a complex critical. You were 2 points. You were 1 point off a difficult critical.
I haven't attacked him yet.
No, Auburn.
Oh, Auburn.
I'm just finishing off Auburn's while you start yours.
Okay.
Hang on, what do
Yes.
I don't remember if you roll for critical, so it just automatically goes to max damage or what.
Right. What I would like you to do
Criticals
is...
are rolled, but then you get a damage bonus, and
Yes.
there's also a critical effect.
Yeah. I would like you to roll me 2d6, please, Auburn.
Okay. Review. There you go. Bounce. 7.
Broken ribs. How do you do
Oh, I broke
this?
someone's rib with a knife.
Nice.
Broke someone's rib with a knife.
A handle.
You didn't hit the blade, hit with the handle instead.
The blow breaks your ribs, causing immense pain when you bend and strain. -2 to
Like
body.
how I got hit with that squirrel that one
Yeah.
time.
-1 to reflex and dex. You're at -1 to body and well, God, that's been stabilized. And he's taking +10 damage. So, how much damage did you do?
It's
7.
regular damage plus 10.
Yeah,
Okay, so I roll for regular damage.
you do.
6. 16 then.
Okay. So, Hadavir.
24.
Righty ho, it comes off.
For every point above my opponent's defense,
Yep.
I roll 1d6 damage.
Wow,
He's sideways.
that's nasty.
Right then. Okay.
This is my offensive spell.
Yeah, mess not with sorcerers, for they are unsubtle and will shred you.
Yeah. He's going for an athletics reposition. Oh no.
Oh,
So
no.
you got 24, yeah?
Yep.
So you've got 10d6.
Which is the maximum damage I can do.
He got 14.
Okay, I've got to get myself some d6 out. Hang on. 1,
He hits, and I'm going to need more dice.
4, 5,
Yeah.
6, 7.
I'm gonna need more dice is always a
10.
promising sentence.
Yeah. Nah.
Good God. Give me a second, I need to add these up. I should have used the roller in the game for this because the maths is going to blow my mind.
Oh my god.
5, 10, 12, 14,
It's got a wound
19,
threshold of 4.
21, 25, 36.
So he's dead then.
Right, roll me a hit location.
Everywhere.
It does vary because he has armour.
That's D10, yes?
Yes.
8.
Okay. Smeganel. Okay, so that's cover. Because the cover will be provided by the crest of the roof, so there's an element. Okay, that's his right leg, which means it will be taking a certain amount of protection. So, how much did you say in total? 36. I was hoping you hadn't said that. Oh my god. We've just taken the eave off the roof opposite. And have done in total. Oh god, that doesn't... Oh yes, that covers his legs. Okay, so... Well... So he's losing 5 points for that. He's losing another 10 points for it going through the edge of the roof. So the tiles. Because let's face it, we're not exactly talking high-end construction here. So he's still taking 16 points of damage.
Which is a lot.
No, he's not. He's taking more than that. My brain just fried on me. 36 minus 15.
Math, not even once.
Yeah. 21 points of damage. On 20 hit points with a wound threshold of 4. You have just shredded him. He's not dead yet, but it's only a matter of time. You have, however, also scattered a large number of slate tiles from the front of the building opposite into the sky.
Clearly dislodged them, and they were just shattered.
Yeah, and they have arced in a beautiful spray and are clattering down around you. And some of the people in the marketplace are going, "What the hell?" And Pepperdew goes, "Breath."
What a sham.
And we'll call it there.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yep.
Thanks for letting me have that there, Trot.
Okay. Well, you were complaining it wasn't grimdark enough and it was too comedic.
It was too cute. It wasn't even that it was too comedic, it was too cute.
So, yes, Auburn's now about to have a fight with a baby aardvark under one arm.
Yeah.
Hadavir has basically killed someone in one fell swoop. Because they're still up on the roof. And ambush galore at the shop. So.
Yep. Realizing maybe I should have made armor for us first, but you know.
Next question, then straight into fights
Straight
from the beginning.
Indeed.
Oh, hell yeah.
All action.
Yes,
time.
only 2 fights instead of the 3 I was anticipating. Since one's less a fight and more waiting for the body to slither off the roof.
And to work out how to get this crossbow bolt out of my arm.
Yes.
Like a bloody
So I can
slug.
heal.
Yes. Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, at least you don't have to go and find a doctor. So.
Well, it might be easier to.
Yeah. Thank you very much indeed. Dodgy doctor. Well, no, you don't. The others do. You took the clerk to a suspect doctor. Well, I say suspect. He was drunk. So, thank you all for playing so much.
Thank you for running.
Apologies for getting timed out because...
Yeah,
that was stream elements, not techie. Not the hint play spot, anyway. It doesn't like all caps. Sorry about that. So, thank you for playing. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm glad Chrono could get involved. I hope that I will have a full house for next time. And you can all get it in on the action as Loic comes charging down the stairs.
Just minding our business.
That's okay, no problem. I had figured it was a caps issue. So, next week, Swords of Slaughterdeep?
Yes, Swords of Slaughterdeep.